I think we'll start. Hey guys, what's up? This is the 7.10 or 7.10 gameplay update patch. This was released probably less than an hour ago. I was just playing some solo queues, having a really good time reporting people, and patch came out. So this is a typical first impressions patch notes review, which means that this is the first time I've read this. I've been minorly spoiled, but almost none. And I'm going to do my best to interpret what I'm reading. Sometimes it's a little bit confusing, and sometimes I'm just bad at math and stupid, and it leads to me saying things incorrectly. So not everything I say here is going to be valid, and it's all just me theory crafting and guessing based on my best guess, basically. On the right side, I literally just got done watching the best teams in the world play Dota 2 for like a week, so I feel like I have a very solid-ish understanding of what's strong in the meta right now. So this will probably be one of my more informed ones. I just hope the patch is a little bit longer than some of the previous ones, and it actually looks like it is a big one, especially because it went to 7.10. The last one was very small. The one before that was it was like moderate, but this one looks a lot bigger. This is a very cool interface. I love this. So let's get into it. Thanks for coming to watch. Okay. Enable Dark Willow in Captain's Mode. This is the one thing that I was spoiled on. FEMad tweeted about it. So my current thoughts of Dark Willow. I haven't played her much at all. I played her twice. The second time I played her was actually last night. I think she is very good right now, but I'm not sure. We will see how truly OP she is. I think she is a very good mid hero. I think she's like an amazing hero if you snowball really hard. I think if you're playing from behind, she's not the greatest. The only time we saw her play semi-competitively was Midas mode, I feel like. So with that said, out of the two heroes, Pangolier was by far the more strong one. Pangolier was basically listed as tier 1, S tier basically, banned every single time for the rest of the tournament. It's pretty much what we saw. Dark Willow, on the other hand, maybe not so likely to become the most OP, but I think she does have a lot of good benefits. I think like level 1, level 2, she's kind of a crappy support. She has a good animation. That's maybe one really good thing about her. But I think she kind of needs at least like a Blink Dagger to be effective and a couple of levels. But I haven't really, honestly, I barely played her, and I haven't really watched a lot of people spam her. But of the people I saw spam her, it did do very well. Seems like she works a little better if you have a hero like Earthshaker or Tusk to mess up pathing. That way, when you terrorize somebody with your ultimate, it basically becomes a 4-second stun where they're generally in the same area. Something terrorize is definitely very good. And maybe that skill needs a change, perhaps. But we'll see if there's a change for her down below. All right, Bounty Rune base gold bounty increased from 50 to 60. Okay, so bounty runes give no experience at all anymore, is what I'm looking at. The bounty rune base gold bounty increased, so it gives 10 more gold. Affects runes after the first one. The first rune will now give 10 more, and it's no experience at all. I'm actually very surprised that this change was made, for the reason being that bounty runes were a lot of experience in the past. My current theory, and I'm not sure if this is correct, my current theory is that heroes like Night Stalker are less good and not as popular because of bounty runes not giving experience. And maybe Earth Spirit is another example. I feel like you can't truly full roam right now just because it's very easy to get behind in levels. That's why dual lanes are a lot better, I think, because it helps guarantee the offlaner gets experience, and they can potentially get kills and stuff. I did not do that well in my solo queue games. This is probably partially to offset things. 200 experience is quite a bit. This is the base ones. That means later ones are probably going to be a little stronger. But 200 experience is a full level. If you're level 1, it takes 200 experience to level 2. So this is a pretty big difference, I feel. And this is probably going to help offset some of the 4s and 5s not having as many levels. Melee creeps, gold bounty reduced by 1. Whoa! Randoming now gives a fairy fire instead of a branch. Okay, I like that a lot better. A buff to randoming, I guess. Bonus hero count increase from 10 to 12. All right, at which point do they... All right, I think this is a nice Ironwood branch, dare I say, for randomers. I am a randomer. Whenever I talk to randomers about the random change, we're generally just disappointed. To give you guys the layout of how this worked, for all of Dota history, if you random, you would get a random hero, and you would get bonus gold. It was something like 200 gold more or something. Don't remember exactly, but you'd get more golds. I didn't personally random for the extra gold necessarily. I mostly random because I didn't like having to make a decision about what hero to play. I thought it felt a lot easier just to random, and I like playing most heroes, like 99%. I really like playing them. the randoming system now, they made these 10 bonus heroes. You get the mango and the ironwood branch, and then those 10 bonus heroes also have a mango. I think the bonus hero thing is a great idea because it encourages people to pick one of those like 10 heroes and encourages them to experience new Dota heroes. That way they can maybe find something else in the game they like, and then they can spend time learning another hero that they're not necessarily weren't interested or knew about before. So I love the bonus hero thing. The sad thing is that randoming has to be within these bonus heroes. So now if you random twice in a row, it's very common. By very common, I mean it's basically a 10% chance that if you random 2 games in a row that you're going to get the same hero twice. And when that happens, it is the most shitty feeling ever. Because when I press the random button, I do not want to get the same hero twice. In the past when it would happen and I'd get like the same hero twice, but it's randoming out of over 100 heroes, it'd be like, oh, haha, that's so random and funny. Like, whatever, you deal with it. But when it's the same hero twice, it feels like shit. So for players that randoming was super nerfed, basically, and became less fun. I totally agree that players I get why they're upset when you random in ranked. I'm cool with randoming not working in ranked. But I feel like on unranked, you should be able to random any hero, in my opinion. With that said, this is also good because if you are a newbie player and you can see which of the 10 or 12 heroes are the bonus heroes, if there's a scary hero in there, you don't press random, basically. So I don't know. I don't know what the happy medium is, but I miss randoming. But this is a better adjustment. I like the Fairy Fire start thing. It's 2 damage, gives you 85 heal when you use it, and harder to make magic wands, I guess, is maybe one reason why they disentangled this. Because if you randomed, you'd have like the fastest wand ever. You buy 1 ironwood branch, and then you go to the side shop and finish a wand. But now you'll have to invest 100 gold. So I think this is a nice change. In a lot of ways, Fairy Fire is probably better. And this will also encourage me to use Fairy Fire more and maybe see more value in it. So, I don't know, this is pretty cool. But I definitely like that it's up to 12. I think that's a nice change. I don't know if I would go too much farther. If this was anything more than like 15 or 20, it'd be ridiculous, obviously, because then everybody would get mango starts. But I think moving up moderately to 12 is fine. But I don't think it should be higher than 15. I feel like. Unless they want to just remove the mango thing altogether and put randoming back to normal. And disc buffed. This item is very, very rarely purchased. There are a couple of games where people would buy it in smart move moments, like against storm spirits or heroes that jump and kill you, kind of a thing. But not sure about it just yet. Looks like some boot changes. Boots of speeds are now expensive again, costing 500, but they give you 10 more movement speed. So it's directly proportional. And for phase and power treads, they only get 5 more movement speeds. That means brown boots are just as good. So this is basically a buff to brown boots, kind of. I mean, I guess they're more expensive. It also makes all boot things more expensive is the other thing to point out, I guess, that I neglected here, considering that everything's more expensive. I feel like the reason they did this is because of all the buffs to support costs. Like, for support heroes, it's actually quite cheap now to buy items at the start. Courier's 50, awards are the expensive part. I just played a game earlier today where I bought like almost everything and I still had tons of money. It felt like it was very easy. So I think increasing the cost of boots is a good thing. And also increasing the base movement speed of what boots give you, I think is also really good just because it doesn't force you to have to necessarily get tranquils as often. Because if tranquils is like 90 movement speed or something insane like that, like you basically can't not upgrade to tranquil boots if you need movement speed at all. Even if you don't need these other boot options. I love this pop-up thing. This is very cool. So this will hopefully let more heroes not have to go that route. Is it 90? I think it's like 90, something like that. So small movement speed increases. Animal courier slightly increased. Interesting. I don't know why. That's very bizarre to me. Maybe we'll find out later. Added a sound effect for successful procs. That's good. And Soul Ring health cost increase. Okay, so another nerf to Soul Ring. It's finally getting like a tangential nerf. It's not just something like make it more expensive, because it is a popular item right now. But now you're paying 170 health for 150 mana, so slightly less likely for Soul Ring to pay off. And the cooldown is what, 25? So 25 times 2, that's 50 HP minimum that you've regen in that period, but it's probably more like 75 or 100, so you'll definitely lose a lot more HP from spamming Soul Ring. So for heroes like Enigma, if they go Soul Ring, this is going to be more detrimental. Maybe a lot of safe laners or off laners that rely on just Soul Ring alone will have more issues. Abaddon talent changes. Abaddon has not been picked much at all. He was played like once at Katowice from what I remember, and it was against a Terrorblade, and they kind of zoned him. What team was that? Was it when Liquid stomped OG or something like that? I can't remember. But it was picked one game to basically zone and contest a Terrorblade. It did pretty well. Miscoil heal and damage is buffed. This is the perk that nobody gets, basically. I think the other one is armor. Ugh. Baden's talents are so gross. 20% cooldown reduction looks really appealing to me. 15, I don't know why. It's not a big difference, but 20 is like, oh shit, that's a lot. 15 looks like, not that much. Just round numbers, I guess. Yeah, his 20 perk is actually really good. I would say for ability draft, Baden is a hero right now. Except for level 15, that one kind of sucks bad. Level 25 talent, I think this is fair to nerf this. It was by far the better choice, and it's so much. It would put your shield up to, what, 450? It's a really good perk. Small, tiny buff to Alchemist. Alchemist was used once at Katowice in a cool way. He basically went Armlet Radiance, Octarine Manta, like the typical build. And I thought he made mistakes in items, but once he got to like 25, he got the Chemical Rage regeneration. He basically was just unkillable. And with Octarine, his Unstable Concoction cooldown was 6 seconds, I think, which was ridiculous. So he just threw this Unstable Concoction stun constantly. Like every 6 seconds he'd throw one out. And that alone, and him staying alive, actually was enough to be beneficial. And then of course he naturally built Aghanim Scepters for other people, and that it actually made his carry potential really good. But it was only one game, so it must have been like a really niche example. I think it was Paparazzi that played it, maybe. Vici Gaming, the ultimate second place people. Ancient Apparition, level 15 talent. Okay, so they buffed it to 2.5 seconds. So that's really interesting. I don't think I've ever gotten that talent before, personally. The Ice Vortex is a 4-second cooldown. So this would put it at 1.5 seconds, which is super low, actually. So what's kind of cool about these perks is that they're both kind of survivability perks right now. Health regen is obviously amazing, but if your HP is weak and your resistance is weak, including your armor, then you still die fast. But now you can drop a Vortex every 1.5 seconds, and then you can run through them at a higher speed. So in some ways, I actually really like this change. It feels like something I might actually use now. Because 1.5 seconds versus, what was it before, 2.5 is a massive difference. It's a huge difference. You can almost permanently Ice Vortex somebody if they don't have like a lot of movement speed or something like that. I feel like you can. So I actually like that one a lot. Level 25 talent change from 4 charges of Cold Feet to 900 AoE Cold Feet. Okay, I like that a lot better actually. 4 charges of Cold Feet was potentially good, but I mean if they have any Dispel or Force Staff or whatever, it kind of just sucked. I felt like, I don't know if I ever even, I mean I didn't hit 25 often on AA, but 900 AoE Cold Feet sounds pretty good, especially because it's going to allow you to push, actually. That's the coolest thing. So in the super late game, if you don't just want 4% Ice Blast kill threshold, which is good, you can just Cold Feet an entire creep wave and know that you did like 300 magic damage to it. And then obviously drop an Ice Vortex, and I think these are nice buff changes. 20 is still, I would say that all of these talent tree levels are really good. The only one I'm not the biggest fan of is 60 GPM. I wish it was a little higher, but I like going spell it myself, but I know most of the time, almost everybody goes GPM. Anti-Mage getting a buff here to his level 10 talent in 2 ways. Gives 25 more health now, and it also gives strength, which means that he'll get more out of HP regen items. So that's a moderately big improvement for him. 15 talent change to plus 400 blink cast range. Okay, so they moved the blink cooldown back to 20. So his blink range is something like 1100. This is actually like a buff. This is like a anti-mage is better against Rupture now, actually. Because now his blink cast range should be far enough that he can blink and not take Rupture damage. So that's actually a pretty big advantage to him, if he can get there really fast. So basically makes mid-game anti-mage better against Bloodseeker, is the first thing I would say. But even then, I think that's fine, because by level 15, when anti-mage is 15, Bloodseeker should have already snowballed a lot off of anti-mage. So I think this is a nice change. Makes him a little bit harder to catch, which is okay. Level 20 talent is, yeah, it's just swapped basically. So, and by the way, all of the perks, this is just an overall buff to anti-mage. He lost, except for that it's swapped, I guess. So by the time you're 20, if you don't care what order you get in, you're a better hero no matter what. If you get both of them, I suppose. Oh, and no, actually the other really important thing is that at 15, okay, basically because the perk that you probably wouldn't ever get is a blink cast range, right? Now it's at the same one as agility, and a lot of players will skip that, but sometimes it might be useful, right? But now at 20, it's a slightly harder decision to make, I guess. But I feel like more often than not, people are going to want the agility, and maybe, I don't know if they want the cooldown. I guess I'm not sure. It would be, what, 3.5 seconds? Not sure. I'm not sure if this is overall better. I think it's still... I guess this is overall maybe a buff. I'm not sure. Because the values are better. I don't know. You'll have to ask somebody that plays anti-mage a lot. I don't think he got played at all. Maybe once or twice at Katowice that I didn't see. Arc Warden, some changes here. So he lost cooldown reduction at 20, but now it's at level 10. It's an 8%. The 5 armor perk, nobody ever got that. I feel like everybody will grab cooldown reduction because obviously it works with Midas's and your ulti and all that stuff. Level 15 talent change to flux duration. 3 seconds is huge, actually. I think it does like... Is it like a 6-second duration or something, flux? So plus 3 seconds is huge. 125 attack range, and they put the Spark Wraith cooldown at 20. They left the 25s alone. Wait, is this just a new one? Okay, so the new perk is... They removed armor and they added Spark Wraith cooldown. Spark Wraith is a 4-second cooldown ability, which puts it at 2.5 seconds, and you can obviously lower the cooldown further with like cooldown reduction. So we're looking at like 2 point something, close to 2.5. It's like basically like, it's lower than that. It's like 2.3. A little bit less than 2.3 second Spark Wraith cooldown. That's not too bad. I don't know, Arc Warden just kind of screams like he should be an int burst hero, honestly. Between like Spark Wraith and stuff, like why not just go E-Blade or something? Is that insane? Probably doesn't work, but I kind of feel like at least Veil or something should be a thing on this hero. More so than right-clicking. Like his stats are so bad. He has a lot of strength and int gain. I feel like you should just go nuke items. I genuinely feel like this is worth exploring right now on this hero. Just go like Boots of Travel, Blink, Dagon or some shit with Midas. Just blink around fighting all the time and nuking people. Maybe get a Kaya. Is that worth it? He is an agility hero, so he loses any benefit from him having agility, but I don't know, man. Nukes, maybe the thing. Axe talent changed. 40 movement speed at 15. That's fine. Bloodseeker, Blood Rage. Now heals you for 50% of his value if you do not get the last hit, but are within 300 AoE. We have a dying hero. Did I not do that before? Did they remove that? I don't remember. Is that only for heroes, or is that any creeps? Okay, it's only for heroes, not for creeps. I think this is a nice change for Bloodseeker. I don't think this is going to make a huge difference, though, I would say. But maybe you could be more viable going like tank mode with like Radiance. Not sure. Centaur, level 20 talent. I just played Centaur twice in Overthrow games, and it did not feel good in Overthrow. But I was actually looking at this 20 talent. It's very hard to opt for double edge damage over 20 strength, because 20 strength is so much, and it works for your aura and all. But this is now, you can get a 550 AoE magic damage nuke on a 5-second cooldown, which is a lot of damage. It's like 100 damage a second or something. I don't think it's a bad perk, though. If you get like a double stun on people, you're dealing like 800 AoE magic damage, not including your ultimate. Strafe projectile dodge count increased. I actually like this. 3 was too little, in my opinion. It's very situational. I like 20% evasion. I think that's a good talent change. 30 Searing Arrows damage is way too hard to pass up, in my opinion. It's a huge damage increase. So 20% evasion as an alternate is, I think, a nice compromise. I still think his level 10 kind of sucks, though. Crystal Maiden buff, she's pretty much unpicked. 250 health and 120 GPM at 15 is also really good. That might encourage me to play CM more, to be honest. The mana loss reduction aura is not a bad thing, but it's a lot better with heroes like Storm, for example. But 120 GPM is really good, and 250 health at 10 is kind of insane, actually. It's a free vitality booster just by hitting level 10. Could really make her more viable. They still have she's still super slow, I guess. Boots are a little bit more expensive. I don't know, maybe she's just too slow. She also is she's way too vulnerable right now in the laning stage, I would argue. She kind of needs like a really strong dual lane or, not sure, help. She's so slow, but she does do 150 damage with 1 skill point. That's pretty good. Dark Seer, level 20 talent increased from AoE, increased the AoE of the AoE surge. Dark Seer got played a little bit, but not much. I didn't see if he got that or not. I don't remember how parallel wall works. Could we do this without ruining everything? Probably. Just want to demo it really quick to look. Damage. This is pretty big. So it'd surge every hero. Can you cast it behind you? No. You can't. You have to turn. I mean, this is... Honestly, that perk is really good. 400 AoE surge is kind of insane. That's a 7.5 second duration on haste. Like, it's actually so valuable against the right lineup. Like, you could look at that. I feel like this is just like another buff in the right direction. I really don't know if it was skilled or not, but 15% cooldown reduction is also really good. Okay, that's how that works. It's so wide though. Okay. I wonder if that's a good thing. I mean, hypothetically, this would be kind of cool because if they're all around, I guess I kind of like the spacing. 150 Iron Shell damage is also really good though. Those 25 perks I actually feel like are very good. 1 second slow duration. Doesn't deal damage anymore, is that right? Am I wrong? Does it not do damage anymore? Used to do like 100 damage. I guess it doesn't. But the replicas do 90%. I kind of like how that's parallel though, because really if you... Can I vacuum 2 though? The only problem is like it's hard to get people through both, I suppose. But if somebody's standing here, I could hypothetically... I guess either way, no matter what happens, it's going to be hard to get somebody to go through both. Okay, Dazzle buffed by 5 movement speed. I don't know, I haven't played Dazzle since his change, but I feel like as a hero, nobody touches him right now at all. Maybe because there's so many good heal options right now and things like... he just doesn't scale in terms of ganking. That's always really tough with him. Like, it's very important to have, at some stage in the game, some gank options. And something as simple as, like, Poison Touch is just weak. Like, if people want to go high ground, they can go high ground with heroes that are so much better than Dazzle. I know, they have to, like, change Poison Touch to be really good offensively for Dazzle to become useful, I feel like. But maybe people are just not appreciating him enough. Maybe there's some, like, dueling that he can really be used with, like, Nature's Prophet in the offlane or something. That could maybe work. But why pick Dazzle when you could just pick Terrorblade and Sunder people, right guys? Plus 45 Poison Touch DPS is actually a lot though. Damage wise, does 40, so you could do 85 for 7 seconds. That's a shitload, physical wise. It's not bad. This other one is movement speed. I could see myself sometimes grabbing that because the damage increases so much. What's the damage? 85 times 7 minimum. So it's 595 physical damage. That's pretty good. Could certainly make like Carry Dazzle a little bit better too, actually. Carry Dazzle buffs, I guess. But if I'm playing Carry Dazzle, I really want 50 movement speed, to be honest. No! Where you at, Doom? I guess I'm slightly surprised to see a Doom buff. Doom has been nerfed for agility draft, or ability draft now. He has no more 25 movement speed perk. They're both based on Scorched Earth. That's kind of interesting, actually, that they're both based on the same skill. Now, this is very Heroes of the Storm right here, actually. This is basically exactly how talents and skill things work in Heroes of the Storm, is you have to pick with... from what I remember, you have to basically pick between... Maybe it's not always like this, but this is what I remember from playing like 2 years ago. So you'd have to pick between 2 different ways to upgrade the same skill. 16% is huge for movement speed. Almost everybody would still grab the Doom damage and heal, I feel like. Is what would happen. Okay, and it give you 14% movement speed. Now it can give you 30. That's insane. 30% movement speed buff for 16 seconds. 30 is insane. He is a little bit of a slow hero, and you're kind of forced to go like phase and drum, but maybe you can skip one of those items now. I don't know if you would want to. Drum is actually perfect on Doom in almost every way in what it does. He doesn't really need agility that much because he's a strength hero. He gets strength for HP, he gets int for mana, and it gives him mana regen. And you can activate the Drum Charge to run fast and attack fast in a short period of time, which is exactly what you need. Activate Drum when you use Scorched Earth and when you doom somebody to chase them down. It's like perfect. But adding another 16% movement speed is insane. You'd be so fast here. Wonder if that's worth it. Not sure. Dragonite was one of the top tier heroes of the tournament. He was tier 1 by like 3/4 of the way through, but towards the end he was probably tier 1.5. He was still very valued, but he wasn't like top tier. The big nerfs will come to like Gyro TB, maybe like Bane, who else? Elder Titan, Bounty Hunter, things like heroes like that. So small agility gain reduction. I actually expected this. I thought they would change this talent. I thought the 30 attack speed at 10 and the 35 damage at 15 was too good to make him a strong carry with just like BKB. I didn't expect them to completely remove the level 10 talent attack speed. I think that's pretty strong. But 2 mana regen or another minus 20% breathe fire damage. My dog would like to say hello. And thus, I will use a treat to force her to say hello. Come here. Good girl. She's a nice little dog. That's a dog break here. Dog break. Alright, come back from where I know you want it. Okay, good girl. Okay, come back for some more. Okay. Want some more? Alright, 2 more pieces. Here you go. Okay. Good girl. Yes, perfect timing. Alright, I don't have that many treats left. I gave her way too many the other day. Oh, you want some more treats now, huh? Give you 1 treat, now you're just a treat fiend? Give you a whole treat, and she's like, give me another treat. Put the pot filter back. Okay. Agility gain nerf is not... I didn't realize his agility gain was so good. 2.2 is really good for a strength hero, I feel like. I mean, in the long run... Ooh, how do I even check his stats? Here we are. Yeah, 2.2 is really good, actually. So slightly less armor over time. Every 10 levels, that's what, 2 agility. It's not much. It's really not very much, but might feel significant. Mostly the level 10 challenge is a huge change. Because this is more than anything, this is less attack speed over the course of the game. Very little. It's like 5 more agility, which is 1 armor by the end of the game, and 5 attack speed. This is very inconsequential, but it's something. But the losing 30 attack speed is huge, because now he needs like another attack speed item to feel like a decent damage hero. Oh yeah, that's right. That's what I wanted to check. I wanted to check what breathe fire is by itself. 25? Yeah. So that could put you up to 45%. If I remember correctly, actually, I actually want to double check what type of damage reduction this does. This actually will work fine. Okay, so that was correct. It does 75 pure damage, so this is physical based. When I always expected the damage reduction name to be different, I guess. Let's get this man like a heart or something. Yeah. So basically, the tooltip is wrong, but that'll probably need to be fixed. But 45% damage reduction, you could hypothetically pick Dragonite against illusion-based heroes, or heroes that buy a lot of stats like agi carries, that kind of a thing. I would argue that that perk is actually pretty decent. 20% is pretty huge. It's basically like anchor. He's got Anchor Smash now. Basically pick Tide and Dragonite and completely reduce people's damage. 2 mana regen's super fantastic as well, though, especially scaling late games. Maybe that's better. Not sure. Depends on the game, I guess. But I could definitely see myself getting this sometimes. Draw Ranger, level 15 talent, Gust Knockback increase. This is a pretty big difference. And yeah, I don't know if you guys ever played Drow and gotten the Gust perks, but they're actually really good. They accomplish a lot. See, I forgot that they added that one there. They removed her. She used to have strength. She used to have stats and HP at 15, at 10 and 15. But now it's just attack speed and gust distance. I mean, that distance is huge. 550 is massive. Draw Ranger. I just found her as I went to type. Dang it. This perk is actually so good, but 50% is also amazing. So let me get this straight. I mean, that's kind of insane, honestly. What if he's not as far? So it pushes him the extent. I mean, it's actually... I don't know, that's pretty good. That's a really good perk, I think. Kind of gives you two options, right? Because you're obviously going to go Hurricane Pike. Maybe this will allow you to not have to buy Hurricane Pike every game. And then it's off cooldown again. That's actually crazy. So once you get the cooldown perk, 6.5 second cooldown on that. That seems very valuable to me. Hey, don't whine at me, I just gave you a treat. I know. Ember Sleight of Fist bonus hero damage increased. Very slightly by 5 per level. The physical build hasn't really been popular in a long time. I think these are the numbers that Sleight of Fist was at when the hero first came out, if I remember correctly. The Battle Fury was like insane with it. You could deal so much damage. These numbers shout to me. I remember I played Tide support on Zephyr once, and MVP Phoenix picked Ember, and we checked all of their Dodwa, see if any of them had been playing Ember Spirit, but we didn't check Forev because he was playing offlane, and then he just played Ember Spirit and he wrecked us. Part of the problem was I was playing support Tide Hunter, I'm sure, and I was ravaging lane things, but yeah, physical Ember builds, just really not good. The hero has 2 weak base stats. Split pushing is good and all, but you don't really need Battle Fury to do so. Nerfed Enchantress, she's been pretty popular as an offlane hero. She was picked a moderate amount during the tournament, not always, but selectively, just because she stands in lane and doesn't die. Mana cost increase is going to hurt her. Gyrocopter has been nerfed. Oops. Actually, this is a good idea. Flat cannon are really hard to see, so being able to see them coming is going to be a nice benefit. Missile bounty increase. This is one of those nerfs where you're like, he's still strong, but it's technically a little detriment or whatever. Punishes bad homing missiles, I guess. But and really, this is the only way you're nerfing him, really? I mean, this feels like a tiny little baby nerf to me. Maybe this is big. Technically, this is 3 nerfs. This one is like pretty inconsequential in my opinion, but I mean the 26 seconds at level 1, yeah, that's decent just because it's usually left at level 1 in the early game, and it's kind of a very good level 1 skill. But I really thought the gyro nerfs would be a lot stronger to me, considering that he was basically like he was like top 3 cores in the game at the tournament for sure. These are like almost no nerf. It's almost no nerf. Late game, no difference, which is fine. I guess late game gyro is not the same. It's like his early and mid game strength that's so powerful. Let's go see what the projectile looks like, I guess. Gyrocopter. Okay, that's good. Yeah, it shows their projectile a little bit better. I think that's a nice change. I think that's a good little graphical thing or whatever. Oop. Okay, Invoker. Alright, I was literally ranting to myself about this talent last night. I think yesterday. The day before, I don't remember. Blitz talked about this Tornado Lift build, right? And the way that it works is you go heavy into Quas, you go like Phase Boots, Urn, mid lane, and then you get a Meteor Hammer. And the thought is that you use Tornado to disable them so you can cast Meteor Hammer. It's a cool build, right? And I was looking at the level 10 perk, because Will kept mentioning you get the Tornado Lift Time perk. So I was like, all right, I get the tornado lift time, and I kept grabbing it. But what's so stupid? Let's just take a little look over here. Take a little look at tornado. See the lift time? The previous perk was 0.3 seconds. That means that instead of getting the talent tree, I could literally just put another point into Quas, which is better because that actually makes my skills better. It was like the shittiest perk in the whole game. I realized that like 2 days ago. This one perk was equivalent to getting an extra Quas. It was so bad. So bad. Why would you ever get this? 30 meteor damage? Yeah, I think I'll take that. That's literally 2 points. Like look at Chaos Meteor here. Look how much it scales by. It gets 17.5 damage per level of Exhort. Not to mention that the burn damage per second goes up. Which I guess is part of that, right? Because that burns for 3, so that's like 3.5, 9. So I guess it's semi-comparable. Because that's getting 17.5 plus another 9. I guess it's pretty similar in a lot of ways. Because the Chaos Meteor contact damage. I guess both of these points kind of just suck, to be honest. Except that the contact damage is technically better because it's more upfront, right? But basically, like, it was the shittiest perk ever. And even to make this build work, you need like a shitload of levels of Quas. Because at this point, my Tornado lifts for 2.6 seconds. And Meteor Hammer, I know this is hard to believe after watching all those Naga Sirens, but it's a 2.5 second cast time. So you need like a lot of Quas levels. On the bright side, this would now allow you to maybe get like 1 less Quas level. Or 2 less. You could get up to 2 points. So that would be 5 Quas levels. And then you could get this perk and be at 2.5 seconds. Which is just enough to cast it. So what I should do actually is try this like one more. Let's test that out. Because right now that perk is like worthless and there's no reason to get it. But that makes it certainly a lot better. Go to like level 10 or something. Ah. So I need, what, 2 more? Okay, and I'm level 9, so I'd probably do this. And so basically, as soon as I hit 10, this could work. This actually lines up really nicely. I like this change a lot. Because I've been trying this build a lot the last couple of days, if you saw any of my Facebook streams. So you could basically level up to 10 and instantly get this perk. And by doing so, I now have a 2.5 second Tornado. So if I Tornado somebody, I can instantly cast it. That is actually a really big buff to this build. Because before, that would take an extra level. So I'd basically have to be like level 11 before I could do this. But now it actually is far superior. That is actually so much better. Props to the team for changing this. This is a massive difference. And this is basically, in my opinion, this is the only way this perk is actually valuable, is for Meteor Hammer stuff. Somebody else figured this build out. Let me see. What's his name? They played it. He's on 5 Anchors and Sea Captain. I watched the stream the other day. His name is Topson. And he plays mid. And he does this build. It was really cool. Tried really hard to be good at it, but I'm bad. So it didn't work out so good. But you could basically get like... I could basically... With this build now, you can leave your Quas at 5. And move on with your life. Which is nice. So that's cool. Very cool change. I know that might seem like too much time spent on this perk. Well, this is literally... God, I hate this. I don't know why it does this. But this is literally very important that this happened. And for the context of the Quaswex build, it's a massive buff to that. And that build kind of sucks anyway. So I look forward to practicing more and feeding more. Because almost every time I play Invoker, it does not go well. This perk also sucks, the 15 one. I actually looked at it on Dotabuff the other day. And the win rate for getting +1 Forge Spirit summoned is like... It is ridiculous. It's not even close. It's like a 8% advantage or something for the average player that goes Forge Spirit over Cold Snap. Cold Snap does not let you win, which is also valid how bad that perk was. Like, I mean, I get why Invoker had so many shit perks because like the hero was just really strong or whatever. But Cold Snap duration is 5 here. Every Quas level gives me 0.5 seconds. So that perk at 15 would basically elongate it by 3 Quas levels worth of Cold Snap. But if I can increase the duration by 2.5 seconds, that's insane, actually. Like, this build is actually going to be so much better now with these 2 changes, in my opinion. Because what happens is it doesn't have long-term longevity, because you get to this point where, like, you just don't really do that much anymore. It's like EMP, Tornado, Cold Snap. Yes, sometimes you'll Meteor Hammer guy, but you don't right-click very hard. But if you can Cold Snap somebody for, like, 7.5 seconds or something, like, let's get up to, like, level 15. Let's say that I stop getting levels of Quas and I start going into other stuff. I mean, maybe it'd be worth going all the way for it, but I don't know, we'll do like this or something. Like 7.5 second of Cold Snap is really good, I think, if they don't have a Manta or Dispel or literally any defensive capabilities. But I don't know. Big buffs to Quas, Wex, Invoker. Very nice changes. And Cataclysm Sunstrike spawn distance is now slightly closer to each target. This is a small difference, but oh, I didn't realize it was range, or it was random. Maybe it's better now. Invoker was actually played at Katowice a few times. He did really well when he was picked, actually, from what I remember. But it was definitely a situational pick, and it was like kind of a some teams sort of thing. Some teams used it really well. Which team did? Fnatic did a really good Invoker. That was Abed, obviously. You guys know he's good, but they did Quas Exhort, obviously, and they had a very gank-heavy team, so there's a lot of Sunstrikes and stuff. Pretty typical. But I'd love to see more Quas Wex Invoker. In fact, I'm going to probably play more and try to make a good game out of it. IO has been buffed. He was played at Katowice. He was banned against some teams very heavily, like against Liquid, I think. 2 seconds duration, I think, is actually really nice for the fact that it basically means that if you're overcharging and healing yourself, there won't be a moment where you can't retether. Because if the cooldown's 12 and it lasts 12 and you tether somebody, then the tether, you might not be able to retether the person in time, but now because there's overlap, you can keep tethered to the same guy repeatedly, which is kind of cool. It also means, actually, and this is also potentially abusive, if you gank at the right time, you can hit somebody with a tether slow and instantly, as soon as it's over, cast it again. I guess technically you could do that before if you timed it, but now there's a bigger window, which is kind of a cool change. But ultimately, you can actually do that at all levels, really, if you think about it. Even early game. Not that people really care much about tether slow early on. Man, can't believe that used to stun. That shit was good. Okay, let's move on. Jakiro was picked a little bit, but not much. Level 10 talent buff slightly. Level 15 talent. I'm kind of surprised to see the experience game buffed, I guess, because that is his preferred perk for almost all players, but 30% is pretty solid. Sorry, was somebody spamming? But I don't think anybody ever gets 15 perk. I think more players probably should, honestly. I always look at that. I always looked at that perk and I was like, nah, I don't need that. It's not good. But I think it might be worthwhile a little. Let's go take a look at Jakiro. So, I personally very often feel like I want to take the dual breath burn because I like doing damage. It helps you push lanes. 40 is a lot. It's a 50% increase in terms of dual breath damage. You go from 400 AoE to 600. That's huge. Really good perk. But attack range, the cool thing about it is that now you can apply liquid fire a lot safer. I think, should be the thought. And in fact, once you get to 20 now, if your attack range is this, and I'm basically like a really long range hero now, I can apply liquid fire to the right heroes. And with a 4-second cooldown, you can actually apply this to the right carries in a lot safer way, because before you'd have to walk all the way up. 400 range is like nothing. But now you can basically do this from a safe distance all the time now. I actually think I'll probably try this perk out more. I haven't tried it before this, but they're basically saying like, hey guys, come on, try this stupid perk, damn it. It's probably worth getting. Not to mention you can be farther away from towers when you siege them. I don't know, this one seems really good to me. This perk got added recently, I think. 150 GPM is insane. That's so much gold. But adding an extra 60 attack speed is also really good. 150 GPM is insane. That's really hard to pass up. But if this applies 120 attack speed and your range is like this, I feel like if you get this perk, like you should probably get the liquid fire, depending on how the game's going, of course. But if I'm adding 120 attack speed, and I can add that permanently to the same guy, like an enemy carry or something, if they don't have evasion, that's really valuable. Assuming they don't have BKB, of course. But, and then obviously you go Ice Path, almost always. Unless you have like... This one's potentially good too, of course, but... Nice changes. I think these are actually pretty huge. I don't know if I'd say this is a huge buff, but I'd say this one is nice. And if you, they're kind of encouraging people to go down this path, and I don't think it's a bad idea. Could help Jakiro have better like mid to late game longevity. Buff to Kunkka as a core, which is fine. Basically only a big. Why does this happen? Some like weird bug from tabbing in or something. Core Kunkka basically 4 points in Tidebringer, and this is much better. We haven't seen Kunkka played in that way in forever. Support Kunkka is the only way. I think I saw him ban a few times ahead of ECHA, but not much. Oh, his mana cost. I was like, what is different? Okay, so it's cheaper at level 1 to spam. Lesh has basically been out of the meta for a long time. So this would make him a little bit more viable as a support, but not much more. The slow duration is 0.7 up to 1 second, so it's kind of like a decent level 1 skill to slow people. Not too expensive. This is the, so he has a better Scotty at 25 now. I mean, they had to buff this. Like, Ice Armor provides 30 HP regen is like ridiculous, actually. It's actually ridiculous how good that perk is. Makes your whole team unkillable. So I guess it would make sense to transition Lich into a slow machine. Lina, level 10 talent. Cast range increased, still small Lina support buff. Lina was played once mid at Katowice that I remember. Basically buff on all sides. Damage perk buff, HP at 15. That's starting to become a ridiculous amount of health actually. Whenever I play support Lina, I always get the Light Strike Array damage perk because it makes your Light Strike Array, like it makes your damage just so much higher, but wow, just a lot of buffs to her. I feel like it is more likely, I don't know if she'd become a mid faster than she becomes a support, probably though. I feel like Lina's support is, it's if you get behind she's really bad, but if you're snowballing, she's like very boom or bust in both ways I guess. 350 health is so much though. Rescaled mana drain slow, 25% level 4, buff to his damage at 10. I mean, I don't think he's going to become a mid hero ever, personally. So I don't know, these damage perks just seem so like weird to me. I don't think, like it's so hard to like, even with like these talent trees of like 90 damage. Like it's very hard to make a mid hero, I guess. Lion maybe could make it. I mean, maybe this is just encouraging more supports to grab it. But in the same vein, like Lion pretty much always buys Tranquil Boots because he needs movement speed so that he can initiate better. But if he has Tranquil Boots and he goes 90 damage, he doesn't even attack that fast. It's like you have to go Treads or something to make use of that perk. And it's a really good perk with the hero, really, because the hero's damage is not high outside of his ultimate. So like a 90 damage perk is great, but you also need to get Blink Dagger. Treads is far more expensive than Tranquils is by like 400 gold or something like that. And then if you have Treads online, you're really slow because your hero is like 290 movement speed or something like that. Pretty sure. Like 290 movement speed. Level up to like 10 or something. Yeah, I can get the 90 damage perk. But like... Tranquils is 90 movement speed, Treads is 50. Like, did they not? Okay, so these got a 5 movement speed difference. Which basically means that Treads and Phase are the same movement speed wise. I don't know, man. It's just like... Maybe you can go like Wand into Treads or something, but you still need to get Blink. Like, this is a shitload of damage by all means. Maybe this is worthwhile. Because it's basically a permanent double damage, is what we're looking at here. Permanent double damage at level. Not permanent, of course, but... I don't know. 75 cast range is not much. Almost all lines I've seen go cast range. But 90 damage is becoming encouraging. But it just doesn't seem like it's worth it when everybody's running around with Tranquil Boots. Like, is my attack speed? It's like... It's not great. And he's got really bad agility gain, so you'd have to buy attack speed to make this worthwhile. I guess in combat, I'm only 15 slower this way. This is maybe a little encouraging. But outside of combat, obviously, Tranquils are far better. 380 movement speed versus 340, and it's more expensive by 200. I don't know. Maybe it's worth exploring more. That's a lot of damage. 120 GPM at 15 is really good too. That could maybe encourage more Lion. Maybe Lion mid is in the cards, guys. Who knows? Probably not. His base stats are pretty crappy, actually. Just, oh wait, I can do it this way. 520. I guess his damage isn't bad. 50 is not terrible. I don't know, maybe he can mid. It'd be fun to see. Not sure if it's a thing, but it's maybe too vulnerable. Scared to click. Lone Druid Spirit Bearer health regen is increased by 1. Level 15 talent is buffed. Savage Roar cooldown. Yeah, I don't think anyone ever really grabs that one. Savage Roar is the one that makes enemy heroes run away. I think it's a 20-second cooldown, so this puts it from 12 to 8. 10 to 8. Is that right? Lone Druid. Yeah, so 8 seconds instead of 10-second cooldown. It's really good. You can put that down to 6 if you have an Octarine core. Don't get an Octarine core on Lone Druid. I don't think that would be very useful. But maybe if you get, what's the battle cry cool? Now I gotta do it. I just gotta do it now. Let's test it out, guys. So let's get health, cooldown, cooldown, cooldown. Okay. Get a little bear out here. We got a roar, so we can roar. Oops. Damn it. Hold your damn horses. I have some like command on where my creeps don't hold when I press stop or something. So I have to press actual H. They can roar all the time. What I was curious about was the battle cry. So it's a 20-second cooldown, right? Yeah, there's no way that this is in any way good, worth doing. This one's pretty crazy, actually. If you got an Octarine on this hero, I could go BKB for 5 seconds every 15. And then I can roar like all the time. Think about it, guys. Don't do that, but it's cool to think about. I think that Battlecry cooldown perk is potentially good. It's just hard to pass it up for Rabid. I think the best reason for it, the Battlecry cooldown perk, is for spell immunity at 25. Those two together are valuable. If the spell immunity is not there, it's just not worth getting the Battlecry cooldown, I don't think. Let's say Luna, almost inconsequential change. She was picked once, maybe twice, maybe Katavice, maybe a little bit more, maybe I didn't see them all. That puts her at a 2-second cooldown for Lucent Beam. That's actually becoming stupid. I know that I'm talking about Octarine Core a lot, but it's important because we're talking about how to abuse heroes, and all the perks make a lot of weird shit happen. But if we have a Luna here, and you go something like this, and I've got this like 0.8 second stun on a 2-second cooldown, this is becoming like very valuable. I just tried this a bunch in Overthrow in the last couple of days, and it was pretty bad. But now, on a 2-second cooldown, we're kind of talking here. Especially once you finish your Oct. Alright, there's a patch or something is what's happening. There's a new patch, so I probably can't test this, but that would put you at 1.5 second cooldown. That means 0.8 stun duration and 0.7 unstunned, which is kind of insane. This actually really sucks that I can't finish it, because I wanted to see what it looked like. Restart demo. Okay, I'll try it again. Was it a demo bug, or is it a patch? Bought too many items, so bugs. Okay. Okay, there we go. This is kind of crazy, really. It'd be so fun to do this from like a support perspective or something. Go like Tranquils or something in this. Just like, oh, we're starting a fight, guys. Here we go. You're basically playing like a worse version of Zeus, kind of. I guarantee we're going to see this in like overthrow like all the time now. Maybe it's better to do it. I don't think you should rush Octarine probably, but maybe do this with like Kaya or something. Maybe that's not good. It's kind of hard to say. Aether Lens is probably not valuable though. I think I would skip that if I did this build. So I would need something that does something faster. Like an item that actually accomplishes things. This is a pretty big change though. Potentially abusable now, the nuke build. That was really what was holding it back actually. I really felt that when I tried it in Overthrow. It was like if I get once I get an Octarine, it's a 3-second cooldown on Lucent Beam and it goes down to 2.25, which is like good. So that was like, okay, so with the perk and an Octarine core, I was at 2.25 seconds. Now with that perk, without an Octarine core, I'm at 2 seconds. So it's just way better instantly. And now if you get Octarine core, it's like at ridiculous levels. So this is actually, I would say, a very big change. A really big change to the hero. I would argue that there are maybe even some times where it's valuable to get this as a core Luna, regardless of you going Lucent Beam focused. Because if we're talking about a 2-second cooldown on Lucent Beam on a 0.8-second stun, you could definitely fit that into your rotation to interrupt channeling spells, cancel TPs. Like literally people can't TP away from you anymore if they have vision, if you have vision of them. Like that sounds potentially valuable. Lycan nerfed. He was not picked very much at the tournament. He was banned a little bit. He just didn't, he saw some play at the start but kind of just phased out right away. Still nerfed again though. I think that's a little surprising. I would guess that this is because people were looking at his win rate still and it was still really high. Because I think the last couple, did he even get strong nerfs before? Where do I have to go to read the... Where did I see that? There was like... I just saw that a moment ago, that I saw like recent changes. Maybe that's because it's the same skill or something. But I feel like Lycan's base damage being reduced by 3 is okay. Magnus base strength increased by 1. So 20 more HP, 1 more damage. Level 25 talent increased. Sorry, I'm changing my headset battery. Probably for no reason, because I'm not really hearing much anyways. Damn it. There we go. 1 second. Feels a lot better than 0.75, I must say. What's the other one? 20% empower damage cleave. That's pretty good. Magnus. 4.75 and there's refresher shards in the game. I don't know, that feels really good late game. I must say I don't really miss the days of like Magnus being like the OP teamfight hero. I don't think those were necessarily the most fun things, but Magnus is just kind of, I feel like he needs a rework or something. The issue with the hero is like you can't buff him. It kind of feels like trying to force mid line to work. Like if you want Magnus to work in drafts, you have to combo him with some like melee hero that benefits from empower, or maybe some range hero that benefits from empower damage. But the issue is like it like limits his ability to be cool himself and to be balanced or to be strong in other ways, because he's always just picked to like amplify other heroes and land stuns. So it's like it's just about like him RPing people and like helping your melee hero come in and kill everybody, I guess. Like I kind of wish that Empower was like a passive again. Was it always like that? I can't remember if it was a passive or it was also an active that you would cast on somebody. I can't remember. In Dota 1, it was a long time ago. It used to look like a bloody claw or something like that. Like it's cool that he gets the cleave in my opinion, but in the same vein, like you don't necessarily want to increase your right click damage solely. I don't know. I think it's gonna be a while until Magnus gets there, I guess. I don't feel like he doesn't really contribute much in a dual lane. He's not super strong level 1. He can get zoned really easily. Like he can skewer people, but that's like his only trick kind of, other than like shockwave spamming. I don't know if he's there yet. Mirana Starfall mana cost is heavily buffed, level 180. This is actually a really, level 1 Starfall sucks to cast, so this is a nice change I think. Even like the level 2 is where it starts making sense. This overall NA's changed. Level 25 talent changed. Minus 80. So that is extremely low. MIRANA was picked a little bit, I think, but maybe only like once or twice. So that puts her ultimate down to a 20-second cooldown. That means it has 15-second uptime and 5-second downtime, which is kind of insane. I actually feel like that is worth buying to me at 25. Plus 2 multi-shot Sacred Arrows is really good by all means, because you could arrow like 2 heroes and win a game. But you could also just be invisible. Your whole team could just be invisible all the time. Literally all the time. That seems OP to me. I don't know, guys. Is that OP? You can get an Octarine core and it's constantly on cooldown as soon as it ends. That feels real strong to me. Magnus didn't have Skewery had passive cleave, yeah. Yeah. He always had Empower just without the cleave rolled into it. So would Empower give you damage and then cleave was his passive? I don't remember. I do remember that he didn't have Skewer, now that you mention it. But I do not. I seem to remember he had like Shockwave and 2 passives or something. I guess it was Empower and cleave. Yeah, I think that's what it was. Okay. This is a maybe irrelevant change. I don't know, MIRANA doesn't feel amazing right now, I guess. Probably hurts a lot that creep spawn later. And she's also very easy to trade hits with. Leap doesn't dodge projectiles anymore, so she basically has nothing good going for her in the early game, unless you have a support setting up your arrow for you, is what it feels like. But as a support, she's like, I would say really bad right now. Really, really bad. Doesn't have a mana pool. Can't dodge projectiles like stuns. Has weak HP, damage, level 1. Can't even arrow a neutral until 1 minute into the game. She's just a shit hero. I think the only way it works is if you play her like solo mid or something, or as a carry. But as an offlane, I don't think she's close to ready, maybe. She's core only right now, support, there's no way. There's no way she's that great as a support. Monkey King base damage increased. This guy actually sucked so bad, in my opinion, for a while, outside of core Monkey King. Base damage increased by 2 is an okay change. That talent actually was so bad. 150 Tree Dance Vision A. We have tried it a few times, but it just like didn't feel good. I like that those 2 have been buffed heavily. Like all the talents they're buffing here are all support talents, basically. Massive buffs to those. The problem is I still think they're kind of going down the wrong path a little. Monkey King's inherently also extremely hard to balance. I feel like it's hard to fix him with just talents personally. The issue is like he's either too god tier at trading all the time and it's just OP. Like, because if you snowball in this hero, he's insane, right? But if you're behind, this hero's pretty bad outside of vision. So, like, if you're not playing in a pro team, this hero actually just is not fun to play. It just feels like you want to die all the time because he doesn't do anything other than, like, split push and, like, is evasive. 300 vision AoE is pretty big, though. I would say that's certainly helpful, I guess. Where are you at, Monkey Man? Especially like level 10, I think that's really the biggest, benefit. Guess that's all daytime or whatever, so my icons are a little busted. I mean, 300 is huge. This is like 300 here. It's basically like you can see normally. This is pretty much like what his vision was like when he was first in the game. I feel like. This is I think this is a really nice change. I feel like there could be some justification to skilling this, even if you're a core. Just because it's going to help you ganking a lot. Cast range at the other one. Let's see how that one feels. I feel like that's going to be really, really amazing. I actually hated this perk level 2. I mean, both of these felt like a one-sided obvious decision. You either get attack speed or you get the... But even that as a support, I feel like you always go attack speed as well. But this vision AoE might... That's so much now that it probably is worth getting. But 600 cast range is insane. The Jingu Mastery damage, I wasn't the biggest fan of. It's okay, but it's not like so amazing that it's worth getting as a support, in my opinion. But now, if our cast range is actually ridiculous, you're actually just like Supermaning across the entire map. This is like kind of insane. This might actually make the hero worth playing a little. But it's more of like a late game trans. This is actually incredible how far you can jump now. This actually feels a little OP, which is good because the hero does not have any OP-ness unless you're playing core and you're farming and actually getting items. Just confused. So this is basically how you jump around really fast. Oh, you need to run? Okay. Quickly click on a tree. You can actually go so far so fast. But with that said, like outside of, I like the 15 perk way better. That one is really good. He's gonna be hard to catch, but the thing is, once you catch Monkey King, he dies instantly, usually, because his stat gains. Like his stat gain's actually really good, but that's the thing. You got to get levels on the hero, and you have like no armor at the start of the game, so he's kind of just like a really shit level 1 hero. Maybe they need to increase the slow of Primal Spring or something. Like the whole fact that they can hear you coming with Primal Spring kind of makes it kind of crappy, I feel like. Because it's really hard to get like a full duration land. It does a lot of damage, I guess, but you basically have to set it up with another disable, otherwise they know you're coming. I don't know. It just feels bad to me right now. I would definitely agree that he's kind of a better version of Anti-Mage in a lot of ways right now with like the Battle Fairy build. Definitely feels pretty solid. But I don't think this will solve. I feel like these perks solve mid-game Monkey King support, but I don't know if it solves early game him, early game Monkey King support. So I don't know. Not sold on this quite yet. Morphling. Morph can now be toggled to go back and forth from the original target until the duration runs out. That's disgusting, I feel like. Let's see exactly what this means. So, based on the recent buffs, this is kind of insane sounding to me. Where's our axe at? Are you over here, axe? There you go. So the reason this is kind of silly is because this doesn't cost more mana. This is actually insane. So basically what I can do is like waveform in, turn back. I guess he has the skill abilities or something. But like if I'm ever about to take danger, I just turn into him to tank is what you could do. I think ultimately this is a for the benefit of this ability being fun to use and cool. I think this is a nice change. Because prior, what would happen is, this is basically what you would do. Let's get like one of these. I'd be like, all right, I'm initiating, gonna waveform in, do this, and then I need more mana. Treads, switch to that. Let's get like one of these, and let's just buy like a Lincoln Sphere. Let's solve my, or press refresh. Let's try this again. Fortunately, I cannot do this until this duration runs out. But you'd basically turn into somebody, and you would cast their spells, and then you'd turn back. Is usually what would happen. You do like this, and you turn back, and it's over, right? But now, if he's about to cast spells on me, I can turn back again and cast another one. So you can basically utilize their abilities. You're kind of like you're genuinely like Rubik now. And the other cool thing is that, what's honestly the most disgusting part of this, I feel like, is that you can use it to take no damage. I think that's the part that kind of makes me uncomfortable. No. Come to me, little axe. I don't know. Like, it seems kind of insane to me that I can basically do this. Oh shit, I'm taking damage. Oh, JK. Oh, JK. Oops, still died. So it's like I have two separate health points. If I'm about to take damage, I can turn into axe to tank damage, and then I can turn for that brief period of time, and then I can turn back. I feel like this is like the most... I feel like this is like insane that they did this. This feels a little insane to me, I guess. This feels too good. Feels way too good. Like, in my opinion, they needed to coincide this change with a duration reduction, without a question. Like, they 100% needed to reduce the reduction. 20 seconds is way too long. I mean, I get that it's your ultimate and all, and I guess you still have to spend the mana on the skills, and it's a really long cooldown or whatever, but, like, that's really, really good. I don't know, man. Yeah, I know it's a huge cooldown, but it's, on paper, it's so abusive. It's like, I can morph into a guy, use his spell, morph back, and when I'm about to take damage, I can morph instantly. Is there even a cast animation? Like, it's instant. If this guy's like, I don't know, create hero vengeful. Let's see if this works. Like, if Agnes body over here is trying to throw a stun. Alright, I have a Lincoln Sphere, so that one didn't work, but, like, let's be real. Oh shit, I'm about to take damage. Oops, that one didn't work. My duration ran out. Oh, took damage? Nope, JK. Like, it just, I still get stunned, but I take no damage, because you take no damage in morph. It just feels a little bit broken to me, I guess. Is that crazy? I don't know if that's crazy or not, but... And then, yeah, attack a bunch, and attack a bunch. Alright, this is a really long cooldown. Wait, is it... Okay, I guess it is about right. Either way, like, I think it might be too strong, potentially, but I like the change. They've basically gone from the beginning, making morph actually like a good ability. And I'm sure that they wanted to do this from the start. What they're doing now, all these changes with like how much mana cost, maybe not the mana cost, but like go back and forth, have their HP, your HP and mana is their HP and mana. You take damage, you don't take damage. Like, they keep buffing this ultimate to actually be a real ultimate. I feel like it's actually a real ultimate now. It's finally there. This is like actually a real skill now. Because before, just morphing and then casting their spells and morphing back was like the dumbest shit ever. It's like, cool, you cast a tombstone and now you're back to your hero. Like, that's your ultimate. But now it's like actually something you can abuse in a cool way. So I look forward to seeing pro players play this. I feel like people will pick this 100%. The negative is that he's definitely pressurable in lane. Very few teams picked Morphling in the last tournament, but I could certainly see him be explored a little bit with this ultimate change. Now that you can selectively take no damage, assuming you don't die during it or get chain stun. Naga Siren has been interesting. Does that mean... Well, let's try it out. Song of the Siren mana cost. So the issue with Naga Siren, she was one of the top heroes of the tournament, was that you could perfectly cast... I've never done this before in my whole life, so let's see if it's as easy as it seems, or as what people explained it. So the issue is that people would cast Song of the Siren, and then they would get a kill. This is what they do. They cast Meteor Hammer, and then they shift Q. I'm holding T. Okay, let's try this again, see if it works. Technically, this is already in, right? Cast Song. Holding Shift and pressing T. I'm very confused. It still works. What's different? You song people, they're all grouped up. You cast Meteor Hammer, you hold Shift, you press T, you take my hands off the keyboard. Look, it hits. I don't know. I know there was some consistency where sometimes it wouldn't land. But I'm actually very surprised to see that this wasn't changed in any way. Why does this still land? Oh, they can BKB now? Could you... Okay, they couldn't BKB before.
From sea to shore.
So they couldn't do that before, I guess? I feel like I saw some heroes do it.
Yes.
They could always BKB. You could have BKB'd. You could not phase shift out of the combo? Okay. Was it buffed? They command to dodge and blink now. Alright, I'll just have to take your guys' word for it. I don't know the timings that well. Okay. Yeah, you can definitely manta dodge. Can't control these. Stop. Stop. Stop, they're killing me, dude. They're killing me. Stop. And then what was the other one? Blink Dagger? Okay. Huge change. I did not realize that you couldn't blink or manta out of it, but that's a big difference. So basically all these common survivability items are now a solution. Huh. And by one of these, I just want to, oops, show you can place it. Oh shit. That doesn't work. Okay, and then what was the last one? I just want to test like 4 staff or something. So it still hits you, but you can force out of it at least. Storm ulti probably won't land, no. Create Hero, Storm, and level bots. This probably won't work because the animation is, I'm sure, too long. Yeah, see, it's like the beginning of the animation. You need like an instant. You need an instant thing. I knew that wouldn't work. I shouldn't have even bothered. Okay, so other items work. Should still make Naga decent. Still an option. It's just now countered by actual items. 4 staff, you can glimmer yourself. You can probably do everything. I think that was a nice compromise. I thought they would just remove this possibility from working, but this is a great solution. Make it so that your items actually work against it. BKB, Glimmer, Blink Dagger, any of that stuff. So now she basically has to do damage. I mean, it's basically impossible, right? You'd have to damage somebody, cast Sleep instantly, and then drop the hammer so that the Blink doesn't work. So basically, if you get a Blink Dagger, you can avoid this combo from now on. If the Sleep lasts for more than 3 seconds, it's countered. Unless they have like an AoE disable or something. So this is actually means there's a lot of things that counter this combo. So I don't know if we'll see Naga as much. It's probably still very effective early game, but she doesn't always rush it so fast. So I don't know. We'll see how that adjusts things in terms of how powerful she is. Mana cost going up is going to hurt too. Nature's Prophet is nerfed at level 10. He was played a little bit at the tournament, not a massive amount. I don't know if I would say he was really successful. He worked sometimes, but other times just didn't do much. Level 10 talent movement speed buff, and 15 is an armor buff. Those are the 2 perks that people don't really get. He used to have a HP perk at 10 actually, but they removed it for this movement speed thing. Interesting. Would I say this is a buff? No. I mean, he's technically nerfed, right? Oh yeah, the only time he really did well that I remember was in Liquid picked him in the 3rd place match. I'm actually very surprised he got a nerf, I guess. I guess he was picked a little. It's probably fine. These are like barely nerfs. This is like barely a nerf, and this is overall buff. So, Necro has not been touched in forever, I feel like. 30 movement speed, do 16% Ghost Shroud slow. This hero is now a little bit worse in ability draft. Rest in peace, ability draft. How much slow does it provide currently? 24%. 6 per level. So that puts it up to 40. That's pretty good. 40% slow for 4.5 seconds on a 16-second cooldown. Dog's groaning. Versus a 40 death pulse heal. I don't even remember that perk. The 15 kind of sucks, I feel like. I mean, 40 is kind of a lot for healing allies for a push, I guess, but... 80 attack speed, I do not remember that one. I don't know, all these perks are so weird. I feel like Necro is just such a like bad lane hero right now, I feel like. He's got like no HP, awful movement speed. I feel like they need to buff his movement speed or something. He's so bad at lane. Maybe I'm crazy. Ogre Magi buff, level 20 talent. That's not surprising. It's very hard to get the Bloodlust attack speed. Or hard to not get it. 40 strength is insane though. That's now 800 HP. And how much regen increase? So I have 76.4% regen right here. It's basically a full 25%. Gives you 800 HP and 25% more regen for many regen items you have, which is not bad. It's definitely very easy to get to like some place on this hero where you just frankly don't take very much damage. You do kind of have to get tranquils though for movement speed. But let's say you have like 4 staff or something. Like I'm actually regenning so much. 23 per second right now. God forbid if you have something like a hood on top of that. Any regen you buy is more than doubled. Like, this is like, looks like I have a heart. It's kind of crazy. I am level 25, but still. I don't know. Probably still not going to be picked though, much. Okay, they nerfed Omni Knight. 11-second cooldown at all levels. Omni is another one of those heroes that's like hard to buff to be good in a support position, I feel like. 11 is probably fair though. I don't think this is too bad or too unfair. I just feel like he's just not a good support. His ability to do damage is like, I don't know, I guess you can trade with him. Like you could probably zone heroes using Omni Knight, but I don't know. It just sucks that he doesn't feel possible in another position. Maybe his 10 perk is too good. But this is like a big laning nerf as well. It's kind of like just a big nerf all around. Moderate nerf for doing the best thing that Omni Knight does, which is heal people. I don't know. Omni's getting in a weird place. He's literally like a really strong lane winner. So they just keep nerfing his skills, kind of. I don't know what the solution is, though. I mean, he's very iconic as a hero, but I feel like I want degen or removed, and I want him slightly reworked. But then he would have no offensive potential if he didn't have degen, I guess. So I don't know. Maybe he's in a good place, but I feel like he only works in one way, and that's like as a 1v1 matchup hero, or as an offlane hero. 2 whole ways. Oracle turn rate improved. Intelligence growth increased slightly. Oracle had one very successful game at Katowice. Liquid picked him in the perfect moment, and it worked really well. Astral Imprisonment mana cost increased. So, slight to moderate nerf to OD. He was picked quite a bit at the tournament. 250 health at 10. Most people go attack speed, movement speed, so this is, I mean, slight nerf to the hero, not that much. I guess the level 1 Astral mana cost increase is kind of big, but it's like 1/6 more mana. Okay, Stifling Dagger Talon now is... Alright, this is a really good change. I don't think it'll make a difference to the hero, but that perk is never grabbed. The 21. The multi-shot Stifling Dagger, that's like... Because most of the time when you cast your dagger, that person is, let's say some of the time, at max range, and if nobody's closer, then you just won't get a second dagger. So basically the only time dagger would ever multi-shot on the right person is if you target somebody behind the target you actually want, but now if it has a 300 buffer range, it means you can technically dagger somebody 1500 away, which might make it more worth grabbing. 20% lifesteal is really hard to pass up though. That's like a free item. And definitely a category that PA very often needs. So I think this is a nice change. I don't think we'll see it grabbed probably, but maybe. Phantom Lancer buffed in his other perk. PL was actually picked and banned a little bit, but kind of phased out as the tournament went on. 7 Doppelganger cooldown puts his Doppelganger at 3 seconds. Means a 3-second cooldown for Doppelganger late game. I don't think this is that bad though. It's going to make PL really hard to kill, but it'll make him better against wave clears, I guess. And heavy disables, I guess. But 3-second cooldown seems kind of silly. I don't know. It's very low. And I think you spend like, what, 1 second in the air or something? So this is basically like 1 second invulnerable, 2 seconds attacking, if you really want to. Yeah, it's a 1 second. So you'd basically spend 1 second in the air, 2 seconds on the ground, and then you could cast Doppelganger again, which is potentially very good. The common problem with PL in the ultra late game is you don't have enough damage items. You just have to get all these tank things. But maybe the Doppelganger cooldown would allow PL to have to buy less HP items and buy more damage items and actually be a reason to be reckoned with, or a force to be reckoned with late game, perhaps. Maybe this is the way. Skip Heart, go Scotty or something, and then continue building. But then you don't get the critical strike. Critical strike's really good. It's like, what, 30% damage increase? 30% chance to get 2 times damage. Is that right? I know I did the math wrong last time when I did this. Same with the Ricky one. Yeah, it's a 30% damage increase, I believe. Makes the Radiance build, I think. That's true. NP has been buffed. Oh, I'm sorry, you guys are right. I read it backwards. 60 seconds at all levels. My bad. Alright, I'm sure that caused you a lot more stress than it did me. I barely care. Let's move on with our lives. Okay, Phoenix, level 15 talent changed. 40% experience gain. Yeah, that one seemed a little bit weird to me. At 15, it's like hypothetically for Phoenix, the only thing that's really good about that experience perk would be that you hit 18 a little faster and that you get your supernova hit count at 25, for example. So that one just felt bad. 500 health actually is good though, because a lot of Phoenix builds rely on utility like Yules, Lotus Orb, stuff like that. So having a health perk by itself is good. And even then it's not that amazing as a perk, because every time you cast a spell you lose a percentage of your health. So even though it's 500 health, every time you cast a spell you're losing a chunk of that. Like minimum 75 HP per spell cast, something like that. So I think this is a nice build addition. It'll also help him not get bursted down by things like Storm Spirits and stuff with an Orchid. 500 health is a big difference. Can definitely make the difference of feeding or not. And it's also weighed with damage. I think it's a nice change. Level 20 talent changed, 1.25 extra stun for Supernova. Everybody gets Icarus cast dive range. That one's way too good to not get, especially because you can combo with Meteor Hammer, I feel like. What does Supernova stun for, like 2 seconds or something? I mean, hypothetically, teams could do some like combo stuff, but I feel like nobody does. Oh, it scales 1.5 to 2.5, so I could put up to 3.75 AoE. That's a lot of stun, actually. That's a lot of stun. That is, now that you look at the numbers, that actually looks a little appealing. Hypothetically, if you can play Phoenix and be farmed, that looks really appealing. And basically do an aggressive Supernova that catches enemy heroes. That looks pretty good, especially if you comboed it with like Chronosphere or something. That looks kind of nice. Add hit count to it, get stun duration, maybe an Aghanim Scepter, Supernova in weird places. Because you can get the hit count up to like, what, 14 just with the perk? I think Ags would do like 16 or something insane. It's actually ridiculous. Why did I move away from that screen, guys? I don't know. It says literally right here what it does. Yeah, 2 extra hits. So you get up to 5 extra hits. Up to 16 attacks from a hero to destroy the Supernova. And if they don't, they get stunned for a stupid long duration. I don't know. Seems potentially viable. The cast range of 1400 is insane, though. Pudge, Rot has been nerfed again. So even slower at level 1. Apparently it didn't make a big enough difference in Pudge's win rate. 17 is still really good. I think historically it was always 20 at all levels. So now it's even worse at level 1 than it used to be. I think this is fine though. Still good. Razor was one of the top 3 most picked heroes of the whole tournament. 15 mana cost. It's starting to become significant. Static Link used to cost like 25 mana back in the day. 65 is pretty significant though. With that said, this is not going to matter that much. Maybe laning stage, maybe some mid-game stuff, maybe he'll need more mana regen stuff, but he already buys those anyways. I don't know. This is like a tiny little baby nerf, unless we're missing anything else major. So far, like, my views of the patch is that it's not really going to change that much, I guess. Ricky gets a buff at 15, level 15 talent increase from -5 second smokescreen to -7. This hero has actually been trash for what feels like a while. Smokescreens, that put it on a 4-second cooldown. Used to be 5. That put it up at perma, but now it's like better than that. Doesn't smokescreen block vision as well? Something like that. I feel like I had that happen to me recently. I don't know. How much damage does this guy do? 30 whole 6? It's pretty bad. 36 damage in attack. I don't know. Bounty just seems better, I guess. But maybe there's some ways that smokescreen is far superior, I guess. It's not even that good level 1. I don't know. This hero just doesn't do that much, like, except for always being visible. Like, he basically can't last hit without Cloak and Dagger. 0.4 of 30 is... I guess we could just do math. 3 times 4, 12 damage. So if he's hitting somebody's back, he's dealing 48 damage with backstab. Or Cloak and Dagger or whatever. That's with no extra agility, so I don't know. Okay, there's that agility. I've been wondering about this. So 10 agility gives you 0.6 movement speed. 100 agility is 6% movement speed. Rubik has been picked. He was played a lot more at the start of the tournament, kind of faded out as teams wanted stronger 4s that had more survivability, I felt. I'm actually really down with this perk change. I think it's been buffed twice in a row now. I've been looking at the numbers. It actually looks pretty good to me. It does 35 damage hero reduction. It does 20 at level 1, by the way. Something that's really undervalued, I think, for early game fighting. 35, and you can add another 50 to that. That's insane. Minus 85 hero damage for every hero that it bounces on that don't have BKB, which is probably not many when you're level 15, but against illusions, that's really strong. Although I don't know how that works. If an illusion does 200 damage, you know what, guys? Let's test it. So if I'm Terrorblade, 60%, so that means 7, 14, 28. It's basically like, what, 50 damage or something? Create hero enemy. Oops. Bane enemy. So does this guy still do damage, or does he do no damage? Why does he do so much? Confused. 56. Does this not work? Does Enfeeble not work on illusions? I'm so confused. It literally doesn't work on illusions. Is this normal? Is this bug? Is this a normal thing? Is it just doesn't work on illusions? Raw damage doesn't affect illusions? Why not? I mean, I guess I understand that. Like, I know that bonus damage obviously doesn't, like, if I pick up this rapier, I know it doesn't increase the damage of my illusion. But that seems a little weird to me that minus damage also doesn't affect them. That feels inconsistent to me. Like, I feel like this damage should affect my 70. Personally, I feel like this is a little inconsistent. Because if I've got like a Oops. Dragon. Knight. Oh, I don't know what it is. There we go. Because if this gets nailed, I bet it decreases his damage. See now, what is this shit? Like, this percentage gets reduced, but like this one can't. I don't know. That just seems. I mean, I get that it's kind of consistent because like the damage, it's damage or whatever, but I don't know. It just seems a little. I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan. Feels a little weird to me. Like, the reason that it makes me slightly uncomfortable is because there's tons of damage reduction things now between, like, Anchor Smash and other stuff. Maybe it's better this way, I guess, but... Because there's not that many things like Enfeeble that are just raw, so maybe Enfeeble is the weird thing and not the problem in this example, but... I guess for Rubik as well is the other one now, right? So I guess one really good thing about this, what I just discovered basically, is that now we know that Rubik with this talent is not actually very good. It's not good against illusions at all. It's actually very bad against illusions because it actually doesn't work, period. Because if Rubik uses Fade Bolt on all of these things, the only person that it actually reduces the damage for is my hero. Because hypothetically, if you Fade Bolted an entire PL creep wave, the whole PL, like if I start attacking a Rubik and he has that perk and he Fade Bolts, we would do no damage. My illusions would deal no damage to him, basically, except for like probably like the Diffusal Blade mana burn. So I guess in some ways this is a nice change. That what I just found out and has already exists. Because as Rubik gets this much minus damage, he will still it'll work against heroes basically, but nobody else. So something to consider. So I guess the next question for me is, what's the difference between Rubik and, like, why would I pick Rubik and go for this talent tree over picking somebody like Dragon Knight or Tide Hunter to get minus reduction? And the answer is probably if I'm against heroes that got by raw damage and not agility items. And is that it? Not to mention that this is just done and it's on a ranged hero. Because if I can just do minus 80 from ranged, it's going to hit them at all levels and it'll be consistent, whereas the other one scales better. So there's probably more exploitable places to get this Fade Bolt damage stuff. It just doesn't work against illusions. So I guess that's decent. I did not realize that was lacking, I suppose. There's really not very many opportunities of this being useful. That said, you can still buy like Crimson Guard and stuff to protect against illusion damage because they don't do very much damage. So there's still like a couple ways that it's protected, you can protect against, but okay, interesting. We learned something today. Hopefully you guys did too. Shadow Demon experience gain buff. He got pretty nerfed with the 10. It used to be like 10 strength. They changed his Soul Catcher creates illusion on death, which used to be a benefit of the skill. But I feel like I haven't seen any Shadow Demon in a while. 25 talent change from +5 disruption banished to 2 charges of disruption. That is a lot better. That perk was cool in theory, but just bad. Like, the only way it was good is if you want to disrupt somebody and then cast like 5 stacks of Shadow Poison on them. That was the only way it was beneficial. There's like no reason to get it over the 500 demonic purge damage, which with Ags would allow you to like one-shot people, right? But 2 charges of disruption, that shit's real good. That is really good if you can get to late game Shadow Demon. That's like actually amazing. I assume it's going to be on the cooldown of disruption, which is like, what, 16 seconds? I don't know if it's been nerfed. It used to be 16. Now it's 18. 18-second cooldown. I mean, that's just good. If you don't have Ags, you probably felt like you had to get the other one, which probably sucked if they have magic immunity or something. It pierces it, but it does not deal the damage through it. But now you can get 2 charges of disruption, which is amazing. You could disrupt yourself and somebody else. You could disrupt somebody. You could disrupt 2 allies, kind of a thing. That's a really good perk now. And it genuinely makes me feel like I get experience gain no matter what, every game forever. Because that is so valuable to get 2 charges. There's like no way I don't get experience gain on this hero now. Now I want to play Shadow Demon. Very good. Nice little buffs. The 15 perk movement speed is still really good too. And the 20, that one's kind of hard. Both are very good. And maybe there's sometimes Soul Catcher creates illusion on death is the thing you get. But I just feel like if you're playing Shadow Demon, maxing out disruption, lowering disruption cooldown by maxing it out, and maxing Soul Catcher is always going to be valuable. So I feel like you get experience for sure. Is Shadow Demon good in the meta right now? There's Terrorblade. That's pretty good. What else we got? Like Razor and stuff. Not necessarily amazing. I don't know. I don't know if Shadow Demon's the hero just yet. He's not really great at early game fighting that much. He's okay. I don't know. I would like to see Luna double. Yeah, you could also double disrupt like a Luna, for example, to make more illusions. And that also benefits that. I think that's one nice thing about this. Maybe they wanted to do this earlier, but they couldn't because that part of Shadow Demon, the illusion spam, was too strong and annoying. But I think this has amazing defensive potential, not just illusion spam stuff. So for that reason alone, I think this is a really nice change to make him a better hero. And like, there's just so many items lately, you know, like Dota's kind of getting buffed and changed in like crazy ways lately. Maybe as a last, kind of sometimes feels like death throes. I don't think the game's dying, but the ways that talent trees like completely break a lot of skills in a lot of complex ways kind of makes Dota like change. It's like power creep is out of control right now is kind of what's happening. It's like every hero is like all of a sudden so much different and better potentially than they could be before, which allows more roles, but it's now to the point basically where like skills are becoming kind of insane, I guess, is how I would describe it. I don't remember where I was starting that question at, but I was expressing my feeling. Dota died when they nerfed jungle. You probably only play Legion Commander, though. I do still wish it spawned before the 1 minute mark for pulling reasons, but it was, you know, maybe too good. Shadow Fiend Shadow Raise damage per stack is nerfed. I think this is a nice change. Level 1 Shadow Raises were, like, ridiculous. Forcing it to scale is better. Like, this is going to hurt Shadow Fiend a lot. I think we just won't see him picked anymore, maybe. Maybe not. I mean, he's still good. It's just like, if there's a lane winner at level 1 against him, he's going to have an even harder time. So this is probably for the best, I think. Because like, level 1 Shadow Raises, you could do way too much damage. Like, the actual level 1 Shadow Raise does... How much damage does it do? I don't remember what it says. Is it 90 right now or something? Yeah, so it does 90. It used to do 80 per stack. It's like, basically it would do double damage, you know? First raise does 90. Second one does 170. Third one does what? 250 or something? Let's do some addition. 250 plus 90 plus 170. It's 510 magic damage with those three. That's way less. 90 plus 140 plus 190. Does 420 now? So it's 90 less damage at level 1 to triple raise. 420, baby. They did that on purpose, for sure. For sure, guys. But it's more reasonable now. It won't just like beat any hero. I remember played a Viper versus Shadow Fiend. It felt very, very bizarre how effective it was at triple raising. So you can click the hero icon. Well, I wish I would have figured that out somewhere around here. Thank you, though. Skywrath Mage. This is actually amazing. This is really nice. The fact that all these like tooltips and stuff to make it a lot faster. They're trying to save me time, basically. Level 15 talent. Maybe it's like somebody at Valve watched my patch notes and they were like, man, he's got to like do all this shit to like look up numbers and stuff, and now it's actually like fairly straightforward. I really appreciated this. This was very helpful. Because otherwise I have to like read here and then go somewhere else. Maybe this has been here for like 8 patches and I haven't realized. I'm not sure. Because I always look at web browser. You guys probably can't even read this shit because it's too small for you. That's the other problem. I guess I can't maximize it for streams, but Skywrath Mage, level 15 perk. I actually am not a big fan of that one, the -6 Ancient Seal cooldown. I would definitely say that the +1 Arcane Bolt per cast is like mandatory what you should grab because it allows you to push lanes. But maybe that's because I snowball. I play this guy with like worse people, so I don't like have a normal game experience. That puts you down to perma-silence. That's actually really good now. It used to be, what, 2 second lacking? I would maybe argue that this is certainly competitive. I could definitely see myself going this Ancient Seal cooldown, but also buying Aghanim Scepter around the same time. It's nice to have 3 Arcane Bolts per cast, but it's a little overkill in some ways. And the thought of having Ancient Seal on a 6-second cooldown is incredible. Because you could just constantly super amplify your damage. If they actually don't have a Yule's or a Lotus Orb or a Glimmer Cape or something, they're actually just screwed. That perk is really good now, I think. Really, really good. You're just always ready to do damage and defend yourself. Because if you like silence a puck and or a Slark and he purges it off, then you're dead. But now you just have to stay alive for like 6 seconds and you can recast it. That's like enough to cast it. He pops BKB, you stay alive until BKB runs out, and then you initiate again. That's what that feels like. Especially late game. That perk looks really, really good to me right now. That would certainly help Scarith Mage be more relevant in mid game. And probably late game as well. But that Arcane Bolt perk cast is really good too. Slardar, this hero has basically been untouched for a bit. For a while. 25 damage perk. Is Carry Slardar the new thing? Probably not, but maybe. Slardar, what is your stat gain? Really good. Really good stat gain. I would love to see Carry Slardar. I think that'd be fun. But I just don't think it's going to happen. Because for Slardar to be a carry, he does not have to. For Slardar to be a carry, you need like a lot of skill points. You need to be like level 10 or something, it feels like. Bash of the Deep is potentially very good. But like, this skill had to be nerfed a bunch to make him fair as a support. So now it deals like crap damage. You basically need like this skill to be leveled up most of the way. And you need some Guardian Sprint so you can be faster. And you need attack speed, and you need to be able to get bashes. But you also need like a Blink Dagger kind of. I don't know, maybe you just max like Guardian Sprint or some shit and go fight in the river all the time. I'm not sure. But I'm not the, I don't know if Slardar is the hero right now. Do we have a regen value? Attack range? Oh, that's cool, they actually show. Alright. Oh, he doesn't have a projectile. I was like, why does it show projectile speed? This is actually a really nice page, I must say. And his movement speed's pretty bad early. He's got really good armor, I guess. I don't know, maybe we'll see more Slardar come back. But nobody's been picking him lately. It takes like at least like a Blink Dagger for him to be useful, and there's just better roamers, I feel like. One second. My blanket. Sounded like my girlfriend fell down and broke her hip or something. But was embarrassed to yell out too loudly. She dropped her phone, so she was scared, but it's okay. Everything's fine. Alright. I'm gonna take this opportunity to run ads on you guys so that I can make that money, if that's cool, and then I'll be back in a sec. Come here. Good girl. Okay. Okay. Wait. 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 Okay. Okay. I don't know if you guys could see that, but that was pretty cute. Come here. Okay. Good girl. Wait. Wait. What if I do this? Wait. Okay. 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 That's up here. She tried. Okay. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Okay. Are we done with ads? Okay, ads are done. Here we go. I was going to do some invoker stuff, and I was like, I should give my dog treats. Alright, let's finish up. Slark buff. Slark has not been touched, I feel like, since they did the hex change. He's like really easy to counterpick now, I would argue. And that any hex just ruins him. It's tough to play him against like Shadow Shaman or stuff. I like the idea of starter carry, I just don't think he's ready personally. Oh yeah, I'm too big. So I guess. Too big still. I should probably fix my camera too. Okay. I would like to see starter carry, but I don't think it'll be a thing. 25 damage is not bad though. Maybe like Mask of Madness or something like that. Shadowblade, Mask of Madness. Shadowblade Treads. I'd love to see something like that. I'm just not sure. But if this damage perk gets really good, I mean, the health regen one is hard to pass up as well because of Armlet. But I mean, hypothetically, if you get Armlet and 25 damage perk, you hit really hard, really, really hard. I'm just not sold on it being the right thing to do. There's 100 bash damage. That's 25 more physical damage, which is actually kind of shitty if you think about it. Literally, the 15 perk is equivalent to the 10 perk damage-wise. They're no different. Although, you could do 25 damage with 300 health, or you could do 5 health regen with 100 bash damage and still get the middle point, right? Instead of going all in on damage. Or you could get lucky and bash twice in a row. But that is literally the same. Mask of Madness with Guardian Spirit. What's the big deal, dude? Yeah, you take some damage, but you just hit them so fast that they all die. That's all. That's the thought. 10 strength, 10 agility, man. That's like a very disappointing talent tree, I think. It's like 1,000. Congrats on your 1,000 gold. Spectre, level 25 talent, increased from 20 Haunt Illusion damage to 40. I have not looked at Spectre's perks. The dagger perks are actually super good. I think they're a little underrated. I get that Spectres want to be very survivable and stuff, so that their stats give more benefit and all from dispersion, but the dagger perks are really good. It's like 8-second cooldown for dagger with that 15 perk, and then if you get the spectral dagger slow, you have like a 40% bonus on both sides. Like they run at like 36 less or something, and is it 30 or 20? I don't remember at base, but it's a huge movement speed advantage. 500 health is really good, really hard to pass up though. Spectre obviously has major laning troubles though. I don't know. I'm currently of the feeling that like I don't really know what's gonna have to change to make like heroes, to make like hard carries be more viable. But right now it doesn't feel like hard carries are very safe unless they're good at all stages. It's something that Blitz repeated often on the panel, and I sort of am seeing in the drafts. 40% Haunt Illusion damage. I actually don't know how much they do normally. 40%. Okay, so hypothetically going like an agility build is super valuable right now. Dispersion is always going to be good, but 8% is still good. 30% reflected is really good. But if you're getting haunt damage up, I don't know, man, that's pretty good. I'm going to quit this and I'm going to make a new one in case the game gets weird. Dispersion is way better. Probably yes. If you're going like a Radiance build, 100%. Totally agree. But at some point, let's crash the game. Oh shit, we got some anti-mages. Don't want my anti-mages to die. I mean, if you go like 15 desolate damage, I don't know if I want that. It's hard not to get all the stats. I really like the cooldown stuff though. 7 duration, 8-second cooldown. Yeah, it's 20% right now. Like 40% is insane for you and your opponent. Let's say you do something like this. This is like very possibly, except with the exception of the first time, probably the opposite of what most players do. What if you're like a Treads Diffusal Blade, Aquila, like Manta style Scotty Spectre player or something. Like, these actually, they attack really fast. They do a shitload of damage. Relatively. I mean, this is like kind of a shitload. It's like actually just a lot of damage. Get a butterfly as well. I don't know, man. Like, that is honestly not to be discounted, actually. Especially once you get the butterfly. If I have something like this, it's probably just as good. This is like 65 attack speed or something. What if you do something even crazier, guys? What if you do this? %, dispersion is better. Is it? Is it really? I don't know, man. This is not that much gold. It genuinely is not that much gold. 8,000 gold for this meme shit? I feel like fitting in a moon shard does nothing when your allies. You're not wrong. I mean, I don't even think you can't even say it does nothing. Like, these do 156 and 80% of that. These are actually doing a lot of damage. Yes, I'm not getting Desolate, but if you buy agility items, they're dealing 124 physical damage per hit. And they're also mana burning an extra 16. So, like, these deal as much as my hero does right now. Like, this is not that different damage-wise than what my illusions were doing. I was doing 130 or something. These are doing 80. But that's mostly because I'm getting 50 mana burned here instead of the 16. So, I don't know, man. This is... If I'm going an agility build, that is definitely the better choice. Without a question. 40% is insane. That's doubling the physical damage they deal. And if you pair that with, like, a Refresher Shard or something like that... Like... I don't know, let's say I'm at, like, Butterfly or something, or... Like, I actually think the Moon Shard might be potentially worth having. What's another way? What if let's say I have Boots of Traveler or something. Like, let's say I'm just really fast. What if I don't get Manta? Maybe this is, like, too theory crafted that I'm all about movement speed now. Because now my movement speed is just, like, huge, right? But I can't Manta out of danger, which is negative, but... Like, these guys are really tank. Like, this is a level 25 hero with no items, by all means. But that's a shitload of damage. That's like, I just kill their whole team. Just by using my ultimate. God forbid if if they're all, like, daggered or something. Let's hypothetically say I throw a 5-man dagger. And then I use my ultimate. Now they're fucked. You can't say this isn't potentially good. Like, you're crazy. Maybe I'm focusing too much on, like, the one guy in chat that was like, that sucks. But this is this doubles the value of it. That perk, I still don't necessarily think we're gonna get a lot of agility specters. But you can't say that perk's not good. If you go Radiance, it's not the same. Because the damage doesn't increase much. Radiance gives you green. Is a 65 damage bonus. That means that the perk does nothing. Absolutely nothing for having the Radiance build. There's no difference. Because this gives me the green number, my illusions don't deal damage based on that. Like, my illusions will still do mana burn. Like, they're still taking, like, Radiance burn. But this perk doesn't actually make them stronger. So, if you go Radiance, you pretty much always go heavy on HP. But if you go something like Diffusal into other items, it can be really good, yes. My survivability is pretty shit here. But hypothetically, you could just ulti and kill the whole enemy team, which is cool. And, like, I don't know, maybe, like, if you're a mad scientist enough, you can buy Refresher. Just be like... and you get doubles. Like I don't know, man. If you could do that every 120 seconds, you can't upgrade Diffusal Blade anymore. Actually, it doesn't exist. Treads, drums, S and Y. That could be it, actually. Let's see. Treads. I don't know if I'd get S and Y over Diffusal or something. Like, alright, so your early game item build, it would be something. Do I have an Aquila? Did I sell it? Hypothetically, if you do this build, it would be this. Let's say hypothetically you go with the drum build, which is kind of bad because it's all agility, right? It's no agility, it just gives you like an active. But the active is also kind of good because you're like ganking with it and stuff. Let's say this is, let's hypothetically say this is like your early game Spectre build or something. And I still feel like you would want to get Diffusal Blade. 20 damage, 20 agility and stuff. Maybe the drum is overkill. I don't even know if that increases their attack speed. Let's test. I need to do this again. 235. It does make them attack faster. But I mean, realistically, it's not worth the difference. And I would need to redo my perks to not have the 20% bonus. I feel like if you did this, you would probably want phase instead. Would probably be better. Something like this would make more sense. That way you could dagger, phase, drum, hit 550 a lot faster. It's obviously overkill here because I have the 20% extra, but I could see something like that being potentially good, but still not better than a lot of other heroes. Alright, I think we've spent way more than enough time on Spectre here. Because he is so easy to pressure. Level 15. Okay, Stormhammer dispels at 15 instead. I actually like that as a change, because by the time you get to late game, it's just not worth it. It also... I mean, we didn't really see much Sven. Looks like all of his perks are moving down. Let me see, let me read all of it. Level 20 talent is, they move Dispel down, so now that's, the Stormhammer goes down 5 seconds, so that's at 20. And it used to be 9, so that puts you at an 8-second cooldown, which is not great. I kind of like the one before. It was, what, 4-second cooldown of 25, but every player was still grabbing the God Strength. Because, like, if you would never do that as a support hero, because you're never going to hit 25 and be like, as a sports fan, and be like, finally, guys, my supports fan will work. And now it's a stun duration increase. That is maybe going to make it worthwhile. Puts it up to 2.75 seconds stun duration. But I'm not sure. Against, like, strength heroes, it still sucks. Because they're going to have, like, 20%. Most strength heroes late game have like at least 20% stun resistance or status resistance, so that like offsets the status resistance kind of. I feel like you still don't get that over 40 strength. The God Strength gives you like 65 damage basically when you use ultimate, but obviously it does nothing when you don't have your ultimate up. But also gives you status resistance. How much exactly? Let's find out. So 10 is 1.5, so 4 would be 6%. So when you use your ultimate, you get 6% more status resistance with that perk. With the 25 one. Either way, let's look at this quick. So you have 30 less damage at 15, which is probably fine for the hero. You can make a choice between movement speed and dispel enemies. I feel like dispel enemies is probably... I don't know if that's always the thing you grab, but it's not bad at all. Situationally be really valuable against like... Especially if it's AoE, I guess. You know what's crazy about that perk? You could use that to beat, like, a Omni Knight. A lot of the time, you're not going to use stun. You're going to lead with stun. But hypothetically, if you're Sven and he uses Guardian Angel on everybody, you could just dispel everything. And that's pretty cool. I assume this works. Create hero Omni Knight enemy. Level bots. Okay. I'll just take care of this. I mean, it just...
The true path. Right.
I mean, that's pretty good, I must say. Dispelling an AoE on an entire enemy. It's pretty good. It probably will not kill an illusion, no. That was usually a separate thing where it'd be like... Dispels don't usually... They don't really kill illusions. It's more like they deal damage to illusions is how it works. And that damage is amplified in a big way. So that's why Dispels usually kill illusions. It's not. It's like a Warcraft 3 typical mechanic. It's not like it just kills them. Hex and Mana Drain will and Life Drain one-shot illusions, but it's also not the same, I believe. Applies a basic Dispel on all enemies hit. I mean, -5. I feel like pro players quite possibly will get this one, personally. I think this is a possibility. 8-second cooldown is not a bad thing. I could see that. 25% lifesteal is good, but Svens don't have trouble out DPSing people ever. So lifesteal isn't that important on the hero, generally. You're either kited, or you don't have enough damage, or you don't initiate correctly to burst people. Lifesteal isn't really that needed. So I think pro players would get this, personally. And you usually have a Mask of Madness, so you don't really need like an extra 25%. Generally. But maybe they won't get it. But 8-second cooldown on this would really help you getting kited. And then stun duration. I don't know. They'll probably still get the God Strength, I feel like. But hypothetically, AoE stunning 2 people is a lot of stun duration. Gives you more time to possibly kill people. So, interesting changes. I would say... Obviously damage nerf to the hero, but utility buff in a big way, which I think is probably for the best. Lowers his ability to snowball everybody, increases his chance to not be kited by everybody, which is overall beneficial for both players in terms of enjoyment. Because if someone either two-shots you, it's not fun, and if you initiate on Sven and somebody gets like Ghost Sceptered, it's also not fun. Because you have to, there's like no items you can buy other than Nullifier. Terrorblade base HP regen barely reduced. Oh, these are some baby buffs, man. Alright. So Reflection does lower attack speed. It used to do movement and attack by 25. I'm actually... Dare I say, I think this is... Maybe I really want a knee-jerk react right now. And maybe we need to bring up the mantra of StarCraft Brood War about the fact that Terrorblade... Or that in Brood War, nothing changed and people had to figure shit out. It will be interesting to see that develop. And in fact, this is maybe... this is probably the best I've felt about working 3 tournaments back-to-back, in that I'm leaving tomorrow to go to Bucharest Major. It's going to be fun to see how the teams adjust things. Because I basically, as watching the tournaments, you basically have to watch the teams figure out how to beat things. So because I watched all of Bucharest, and right after there's going to be another major, like another huge tournament, it'll be cool to see what people find as solutions, if there are solutions, if heroes fall out of favor or not. I really thought Sunder would be adjusted a little. I tweeted about it. I thought Sunder, like, let's say you Sunder somebody that's BKB on, I thought that their HP would stay the same and you'd heal up to their level. I thought that's what would happen. I thought that would be like a good Sunder compromise. At least that way there's a solution. But this small of a regen change, and let's just check, like, let's see, like, Terrorblade's regen in the late game. 0.25 is not massive, essentially. Oops, I have to... Oh, it worked. Nice. So I have a little bit less regen. Let's say I just level up to, like, 10 or something. I guess that doesn't do much because he gains very little strength. But let's look at, like, a typical item. Dreads. Aquila. Do people buy drum? Sometimes they do. I don't remember, to be honest. I don't know, they buy some shit like this and get like a BKB. I don't know. It's like a little bit of regen, but it's not much. This is like 0.25 per second, right? Minimum. Actually, let me double check what it is at level 1. It says 3.3. And the 0.32 is probably strength bonus. 10% of that. Yeah. I don't know, man. This is like... We'll say 0.25 times 100 seconds. It's like 25 HP. So every 100 seconds he has 25 less HP. It's so small. I mean, I guess Reflection not reducing attack speed is alright, because it's going to be a little harder for Terrorblade. Because if you cast Reflection, reducing attack speed means that, like, heroes have a harder time killing him before he sunders, I guess. But this is a very small change. I personally think the Terrorblade 25 talent, or 20 talent is obnoxious. It's just not fun. In my opinion. Do I have some set? No, I just have the regular one. I don't know why it doesn't look more red. I'm tangenting to cosmetic items, guys. Yeah, this is the red one. This is like the basic for the set. I don't know why it looks weird over here. It should be red here for some reason. I don't know why it isn't. I don't know. This is like a very, very small nerf to the hero. You get a little bit less gold from melee creeps, I guess, but bounty runes don't give you experience. Does that matter? Not sure. Probably not for Terrorblade. Maybe it does. Alright, let's move on. Tinker Laser Scepter bounce radius reduced. I think that's really good. Laser mana cost increased, so it's harder to spam level 1. Tinker was like as one of the TB counters. Level 10 talent. Okay. They removed the 100 damage perk. They finally realized how useless it was. Except for ability draft, it was really good at ability draft. Now it's 10 armor. That will make Tinker's life a little bit easier for sure. Very few Tinkers will buy Shivas recently, so this kind of helps them a little bit against physical damage. I feel like you will often grab that. 8 March of the Machines damage is okay. It's not great. It's like an extra point. It's like a skill point of March of the Machines. But 10 armor seems pretty good. Let's say... God, I can't remember what the numbers are. Did they change it? I know they changed armor. Yeah, there's definitely some like texture issues going on here. Used to be 60% more survivability against physical. 10 armor would be. I don't remember what they changed it to when they changed armor. But this bouncing is good. I remember seeing a game where the laser bounced like way too far, especially if you get like Aether Lens and the cast range perk at 10. It like bounced way too far. So this is a lot better. And that's just for Ags. Oh yeah, it's a Scepter. Probably for the best. Alright, Tiny gets another nerf. He was also very popular. He kind of faded off in the game, in the tournament. He's more popular at the start during the group stage stuff, but later on he was seen as a little bit weak. Tree grab cooldown 24 seconds now. Huh. 24. Okay. Treant Protector has pretty much not been touched. Used to be experienced, now it's +2 living armor block instances. That used to be the 25 perk. That is pretty good. I don't think I ever grabbed the experience one myself. I feel like by the time you get to level 10 on Treant, you're at a point where you're kind of like, okay, I'm fine now. But the levels issue is more like pre 7, I feel like. So that puts you up to 9 blocks, which is not bad. Level 15 talent is 2-second tree respawn. That perk's gonna be in a weird place, I feel like. I feel like it's good that it's there, but it's only useful like 8 to 10% of the time or something like that. Is kind of the issue with it. I'm just not convinced that it's good yet. Actually, 2 is getting kind of interesting. Now I'm thinking about it. You could do stuff like force yourself through trees, start a teleport, and within 2 seconds the trees respawn. So hypothetically, you could use it in a way where you can get into trees in a safe way. I don't know if it's abusable necessarily, because 2 seconds is still kind of a lot. If it was any less, it would be ridiculous, right? But maybe there's some way that it kind of... Tree respawn is normally 5 minutes, from what I remember. I don't know if it's been changed over the years, but it used to always be 5 minutes. 5 whole minutes for the trees to come back. The trees on the map, that is. But now they'll come back every 3 seconds or 2 seconds. Good against things like Timbersaw. If you have a Monkey King on your team, this would be a good perk. That way he has more trees to jump on. Especially around Roche Pit, for example. You can cut all those down to counter Monkey King. I don't know. I don't know if they can buff this talent anymore. Before, like, if it becomes 1 second or something, it would be stupid, right? It just wouldn't be useful anymore. It would be like you would force yourself into trees, and the trees would instantly block you in. I don't know. I just feel like there would be ways that it would be counterintuitive. I just like that it's in the game. I hope it doesn't go away, I guess. Maybe they'll have to remove the damage one, I'm not sure. And the other one is remove the block instances, but a 700 AoE living armor for heroes and buildings. I really like that one. That one's cool. Especially because you could potentially get the 10 perk and then make it be better at 25. That's cool. 10% cooldown reduction is also good. But I really do like this change. The other one was what, Eyes and Overgrowth AoE. That one's not bad. Much better if you have an eggs, obviously. Okay, so here's our like Overgrowth AoE. This is what's kind of cool about this, actually. Let's do this. Bug! It says 3! This one's potentially really good too, 4.2 seconds. I feel like Tree's a hero I should play more. All his perks look pretty good, except for the 10 one is not the best, I guess. But this one seems really good as well. That's 6 times, 600 damage, 600 AoE heal. Like, this is so big, range-wise. That perk is, like, actually so big. Like, everything gets hit by Overgrowth. And that's a 4.5 second duration. You actually don't even need Blink Dagger if you get this perk. You don't need it. You could technically sell your Blink Dagger if you so wish. I don't know, man. If you have, like, a Refresher Orb as well, same thing. Just, like, that range is so big. Oops. I accidentally clicked on the one hero that I could not click on. And this is like actually the whole team fight. So work on creeps. It does not. Obviously it'll work on like. I mean, against the right lineups, this is really strong. 12-second cooldown. Oh, especially if I got the cooldown perk. I don't know. This. I feel like I want to spam this hero right now. That's what I desire. But plus 2 live in armor block instances. Which is more important? 11-second cooldown. Item is not allowed, damn it. To restart. We're gonna get it down to like 7.5 or something like that. I don't know if that's really like the most abusable thing or not, but 8.1 second cooldown. Lasts for 15. It's assuming we're all staying together. I know how hard it is to weave people, and this, I don't know if this is really possible to be effective, but that's pretty low cooldown, I must say. I don't know. A lot of really good perks on this hero right now. I feel like everything is good. The only one that I'm really unsure about is maybe the 90 damage and the +2 and the 2-second tree respawn time. Maybe. Hard to say though. Huh. I love this change. This is really nice. Really nice adjustments to tree. I feel like these are really good buffs. He hasn't really been powerful in a bit, but it'd be fun to see since they changed it to root over stun, I guess. But it'd be fun to see him picked more. Maybe he'll be explored more with these perk changes. Probably not. The level 10 one is not a big difference. Just really not a big difference to the hero. Troll Warlord, level 10 talent. He got picked at least once at the tournament. I know. I think they won that game. Can't remember though. It was like kind of, it was a new BVG, I think. I was watching the other game at the time. 250 health is cool, I guess. And the other one is Whirling Axis damage. So that's a 150 damage for that if you use both axes. Puts your ranged axes from 125 to 150. The other one goes from like which is it? 75? 300 damage. Nuke-wise, it's not bad. Huh. I don't know. Troll's in kind of a weird place. He's a little bit weak in the laning stage, and he takes a lot of items to become good. Undying cast range. Interesting. Dang it. It's this right click. The right click keeps messing me up. Decay duration. That one's actually not bad. Decay lasts for a long time. 45. So you could basically steal decays for a long time. And 3 to 4 tombstone attacks. I like that. Especially with the tombstone on death. That's 8 attacks plus 4 is up to 12. It's not bad. I think I saw a little Undying, but not very much. I don't know. He feels a little iffy. He doesn't transition quite well enough. And he's a really bad one from behind. Doesn't have GPM perk anymore either. Okay, an Ursa Roche buff. Interesting. So before, it would only last 6 seconds, so you had to keep hitting, but now you can buy a little bit more time. I guess this means you can quite possibly solo Roche on Ursa. I don't think it's worth it anymore level-wise, but it's probably more possible than it used to be. What's a salve duration? 10 seconds, right? 8 seconds? You could basically disengage Roche, pop a salve, and kill him now. That's actually pretty huge. You only get like, what, 400 HP or whatever, but you could definitely solo Roche a lot earlier on this hero. I don't know if anybody would do that. I mean, it's like kind of a weird change. This is like more of a pub change, I feel like. It's more like tricky Roches. This is more possible now. Maybe a fun way to make Ursa more fun again. He used to always kind of be the meme hero, I guess. But now it's like everybody's got perks that out meme Ursa. Venomancer level 15, cast range. It's okay. Only works for Gale and putting Plague Wards down, I guess. So it's kind of mediocre. I've gotten Venomous Gale a lot in the last week. I tried the Gale cooldown in ability draft and a regular game, and I just didn't feel that special about it, I guess. Level 20 talent is buffed. What's the other one? Gale impact on 2 heroes. Did people even play Venomancer? Did anyone even play Venomancer yet? I'm not sure. Poison Nova is better. Poison Nova is better. Like, it's an 800 now. What is that like? It's actually the whole screen. It already was the whole screen, but now it's actually the whole screen. Like, let's do... Let's get an enemy here. Let's buy this mana hood. It's literally the whole everything. Doesn't matter, guys. You don't like getting ultimated. I actually missed him with Gale's There we go. Maybe this hero sucks right now, Venomancer, because everybody has so much regen. Pipe. He's gonna live. He lived. That actually lasts so long. 23 seconds? That's without Ags? Is this real? Does this give you more duration? No, it doesn't. Damage and cooldown. 23 seconds? Everybody does have so much regen though. This is actually insane that he lived. He's a level 1 hero. And he survived. Why did he die so fast this time? Did I not heal him? Is that what I did? Was I a jerk? I felt like he was dead right away. So what just happened? Oh, that's right. It's because I have Ags stuff. Way more damage. Oh shit, he's level 2, guys. Watch out. Like, this is kind of bonkers in a lot of ways, actually. How long that took. So, like, you can hit everything. That seems clear. That was like, I just skill shot those creeps, guys. Did you see that skill shot? That was an insane skill shot. Where are my creeps at? Here they come. Watch out, creeps. Got him. I knew that was coming. I knew I could nail him. I'm gonna one-shot them. Oop. Like, the range is actually crazy, but I don't know. Got him. I keep having this moment where I'm like, there's no way it goes that far, and then it actually keeps going and it just hits him. That's what happened both times. So hopefully it was like that for you. Oh god, I did it again. This was a left click this time. Visage. Added secondary ability on Visage to make the nearest familiar land. Okay. Is this a newbie's Mycrane Visage thing? Nearest familiar land each time it's clicked. Okay. Soul Assumption talent now is a 300 cast range buffer. It's 100% a newbie button. I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing though. Soul Assumption talent now has a 300 cast range buffer for the secondary targets. Okay, the same as the dagger thing when you'd get double Soul Assumption. Cast range is, I don't know, probably like 700 or something, like pretty typical, and that's the 15 perk. Cast range and Soul Assumption is 2 targets. Basically, Visage support is not a thing. So I ultimately think this is a nice change. So the important thing to remember is that Dota is a hard game, and we want more people to play it, right? So hypothetically, if you want people to play Visage and they're terrified of micro, they will literally never play Visage. And I know for a damn fact, the Visage is in the bottom 10 of all heroes played. And I'm pretty sure he has always been that. Which is kind of depressing, right? Because if we think about heroes, and if we talk about like Visage being cool and whatever, we will never get to experience that. Is this the screen that I want? I'm trying to like... Is this even gonna work? God damn it, no it's not because it's Chrome. Alright, this is what I'm gonna do. Rather than showing you guys... No, I can do it actually. Let me... Add web page. Okay, here we go. We are browsing the internet using XSplit. So if we scroll all the way down, let me just find where this is in Chrome before I want to punch myself. I'll scroll all the way down. There's Visage. Literally the least played hero in the entire game. I don't know when this was. This is this month based on Dota Buff. So this month there was 192,000 games of Visage played. How many Pudge games, guys? 8.2 million Pudge games. 8.2 million. And only 200,000 Visage games. It's like insane, right? Why the fuck would anybody play Visage if they're scared of micro? They will never play Visage. Like, Broodmother has 400,000 games. Meepo, for God's sake, has 450,000 freaking games played. Visage, less than 200k. It's a damn travesty. But that's just how shit works in Dota. Anyways, this button I think is a good idea. Yeah, it's newbie. Yeah, it makes the hero easier to play. Yeah, we're going to be wrecked by some like shit new Visages now. But ultimately, that's probably better for the world. This perk, this experience perk is really hard to pass up, I must say. Because getting into like this is, and these is really, really appealing. But this is also cool. Can just become a soul assumption machine. Okay, so now I can do really easy shit against anti-mages. I can be like, I am bad at Dota. Oh shit, there's a hero. This is actually so easy. Holy shit, this is easy. I'm playing Visage every day for the rest of my life, guys. That was so easy. In a really nice way. I am happy. Oh, don't kill. I literally play Visage, and I am more encouraged to play Visage now. Because before, what I would do, I would have no idea what my fucking cooldowns were. Because as soon as I start going to bird dropping, it looks like this. This is what I'm looking at. I'm just pressing tab, being like, well, this is like me Visage. I'm like, oh shit, let's kill him, guys. Oh wait, sorry, I fucked it up already. I literally just fucked up the combo. I did it flawlessly the first time, and now I just fucked it up. Let's do it again. Approaching anti-mage. Let's try this again. Oh shit, ganking the anti-mage, guys. Dropping this. Dropping this. Dropping this. Oh shit, I could have cast the soul assumption like literally 4 seconds ago, and I just didn't. Because all I'm worried about is like chain stunning this guy. So you're just never perfectly efficient. And now it's just so easy. Hey, drop a thing. Hey, this is ready. Oops, I did it wrong. Alright, I did it wrong this time, but you know what I mean. Boom. Like, I don't know, man. That is so much easier. So much easier. And if you really want to, you can always do individual micro if you want, but obviously... Does it have a cooldown? Is it just because these are on cooldown? Probably. Let's just do this. Okay, good. You can still do it. It's still individually based on the cooldown. This is a great addition to the game. Wonderful addition to the game. Makes the hero easy, but I don't think that's all a bad thing if we want Dota to continue. And Visage is a fun hero, and there's lots of cool shit he can do. I am like sure that's even gonna help pro players. Like now it's gonna be so much easier to be like, I'm gonna get phase boots on Visage because I'm gonna be paying attention to my cooldowns or something. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It's like cool change. 200,000 games, man. Come on. It's a beautiful hero. Good change, good change. If anybody thinks Valve is not trying to make Dota 2 grow, I think these last 3 patches have clearly proven that extremely wrong. I think that is very safe to say. Things like this will, if they continue on this path, imagine what Dota is going to be like in 6 months. Easier to play, but not in a way that detracts from the game. Like, yes, Visage is far easier to play now, but you still have to be good at Dota. It's just easier to cast Stone Form without having to, like, stop what you're doing with your hero, unless you're, like, really talented video games. I think that's a great change. And for pro players, it mostly doesn't matter anyways, so. It's not like any pro player is going to be like, I won TI now because of the Visage familiar land button. That shit is not going to happen. Okay, Warlock. Level 10 talent, cast range. Level 15 talent, 60%. It's finally happened. His old experience gain was at 10, and it was 25 for the longest time. Yeah, skill floor is higher. That's the right way to describe it. Cast range is really good on this hero for all of his skills. Shadow Word. Fatal Bonds damage is good. I feel like I'm going to grab cast range almost all the time, though. Because 150 cast range is huge. 60% experience is actually insane, though. 60% is amazing. Especially with the change to bounty runes. This feels like a massively big change. The negative, though, is that if you're leveling faster, when you die, you're going to give your opponents a lot more gold, and Warlock dies a lot. Which isn't necessarily a bad thing, right? Because then you summon a golem on death, and you can get to level 25 more rapidly, which provides magic immunity. But I would actually argue that the Shadow Word is a little, maybe, dare I say, underrated. Oh, shit, don't kill this man. Oh, I got my familiar. It stayed, dude. Because it was invulnerable. I frame perfected that hero switch thing. Now we just need a button on my Warlock so that I can drop my birds when needed. I've actually never gotten this. I don't know what's better. Probably 20 armor or something. 9-second cooldown. Get wrecked. This is cool, I must say. I don't know if the cooldown is worth it. I guess I would argue that I'd get... I think a lot of games I would want to get experience and then maybe Shadow Word AoE. Because like just using this to heal allies, for example, would be really beneficial. I don't know if you'd ever really want to cast on opponents that much. It's like good nuke, but it's not amazing. 450 plus another 90. It's like good 540 damage. But I don't know if I like the cooldown enough to justify that over 60% experience. And I'd probably still sometimes get summon a golem on death. That one's really good too, especially if you're losing. Strong as my golem. It's pretty good. That's a lot of armor. I feel like a lot of times it's needed. Nice Warlock buffs, I think. Warlock was picked once or twice at the tournament. I think Vici Gaming played him once. I can't remember if it worked. I think they lost that game, but it looked good. Maybe he was picked more than that, I think. Weaver, 35% experience gain. That one I actually kind of like a lot. Weaver does need a lot of levels. Getting to 25 a little faster is a cool idea. 20 mana break is good. It should do, what, 16 damage a hit? But I actually like the experience gain. I think I might justify that on Weaver in a lot of ways. So normally you're at something like this. Most players will max the swarm first. I'm actually becoming more of the opinion that maybe these should be leveled semi-equally. Maybe that's crazy. Maybe Geminate scaling needs to change or something, I'm not sure. But, oops. But usually you're something like this, and you're like, man, I really wish Geminate was maxed, because it sucks if it's not maxed. And you're like, but I also kind of want the Swarm to be maxed so the cooldown's lower, and then it actually does some more damage. Because, like, getting to a fast level 16 or 18, for example, is really beneficial. Not to mention that every time you level up, you become a lot less likely to die. So 35% experience when you can snowball off of hero kills around this point in the game. Seems pretty cool. Then you get 15 faster. I don't know if I get Sakuchi damage. It's okay, I guess. 12 strength ain't bad, though. I don't like the 20 perk that much, I guess, but... I don't know, maybe I'm overselling the 35% experience gain, but 25 I don't think people would get. 20 mana break is like a pretty big thing. It's okay. Wind Ranger Shackle Shot mana cost reduced. This is nice. For support Wind Rangers. Basically all Wind Rangers. But yeah, this needed to happen. When Shackle Shot duration had to go up there. I think they just added this last patch or something like that. 1 second is reasonable. 0.5 is just not that great. But if you can get 1, that puts it up to a 4.8 stun. That's actually kind of disgusting now, I would say. Late game Wind Ranger. 4.8 second. I just got wrecked by a Wind Ranger today, actually. It's about equivalent to when Ren gains invisibility, I think, in terms of valuableness. 4.8. That is insane. It's actually so good. It's like you get shackled and you know you're fucking dead no matter what. Is this the new reflection talent, guys? Just obnoxious to play against? Don't think we need to experience that one. Arctic Burn mana cost. I think this is a nice change. I played Wyvern last night, and the whole health burn damage changes were kind of... I leaned against a Nyx Assassin, it just kind of sucked. But we did okay. I was playing with Sean. It went okay, but it wasn't great. 90 mana cost makes it a lot better, because they reduced the level 1, so it wasn't as abusive. But the cooldown is so long, 50 seconds, that it's like... Come on, you nerf the damage, it does 50% more at level 4. Not to mention all the other benefits of it. The slow is kind of crappy, 22%. It's just really mediocre one skill point right now. So 90 mana cost, I think, is a nice buff to the hero. This shit is actually kind of bothersome to me. I really wanted to get the 60 damage when I played him, because I did about 60. I did like actually 60 damage then when I hit level 10. It was not beautiful. My damage was not strong. Let's level up here. Look at this shit. 65 damage. Level 10 I do 65. This is a double damage. And I right click people with Arctic Burn, right? But 90 GPM is incredible when you're level 10. It is actually so much gold. I still hate these perks. I really do. I kind of hate them. Except for like the late game ones. Those are kind of cool. But the 10 ones, I just feel like I have to get it. And I don't want to get it. I want to do fucking 60 damage. That's cool to me. But instead I'm like, well, I do want a Blink Dagger, guys. So let's get the GPM. And then I'm walking around doing 65 damage. And then if somebody gets really low, I just can't kill them because I do 65 fucking damage. It's like I either Splinter Blast, I ulti, or I hopefully deal more than 65. I don't know if I can earn that game. I feel like I didn't. So maybe that would have been another option. But I want to get these damage perks. But it's hard. Wraith King level 15 talent changed. Thank God they changed this. The 5 max skeletons just wasn't very valuable. This is kind of cool. So they basically moved the 20 down to 15. And that one actually might be worth getting, I would say. And now you just get 2 times skeleton spawned. So that would be, in the past it was 7 plus 5. Let's do this math. 12. Whereas now you can get up to 14 skeletons. Oh, actually that's really cool. This is cool in a lot of ways. 5 max skeletons means you still have to crit 5 more times to get that many skeletons. But now you have to crit the same amount of times potentially. I'm sorry, is it 6? I think it's like 6 max. No, to 7. 7 max. But now you get double the benefit with half the crits, which helps you late game, because late game critting on neutrals is hard. Because once you crit, you one-shot them. But you deal like so much damage in the mid to late game if you buy the right items that you just like 2-shot creeps anyways. So it's like, it's actually hard, and you can't crit ancients because they have, I don't know, be too good to farm skeletons or something. These are really good talent tree changes to solve the skeleton issue, which is basically skeletons kind of suck. I don't remember exactly how much damage they do. But let's no, go over here and like auto attack creeps. Huh. See how hard it is to farm skeletons, guys? Get out of here, Axe. Oh, this doesn't work either. Lifesteal all the way. Yo, this guy is fucking hard to fight. You know what I need, guys? More lifesteal. Alright, I should probably get back to work. I don't suppose these have to be full for me to do this whole thing. I'll kill you, dude. This is like the coolest build I think I've ever invented. I'm pretty sure. Look at this. Easy. So easy. Okay, fight little skeletons. So they deal 37 damage. Which is okay. They can get plus 25. So they'd be dealing more like 40. Oops, wrong item. I was thinking a hat, and that is a hat. So if you get Helm, they deal significantly more damage. Damn it, I'd have to resummon them. Anyways, they deal damage or something. But it's not like incredible, but maybe it's more possible now. Oh, I see it messed up my... It auto-built. Shit, that's not what I want. That's what I didn't want it to build. You guys ready for this overly elaborate joke here? Look at them crits. It's beautiful. It's like I'm playing an MMO or something. It's okay, I guess. But it's definitely something, it's a better option now. Well, what did it used to be? Plus 5 skeletons. Is that what they swapped? The skeleton spawn used to be at 15. Yeah. Which is better. I would want them to deal more damage instantly rather than have more. Because at that point in the game, I don't really want more. It's not really that beneficial. But now you can farm faster with them. I don't know if there's some like way to make Wraith King valuable. I think he was picked like once. And then Secret played him as a support once. Not sure if anybody played him as a core or not. But I don't know, maybe Skeletons is something that can be better later. I think no reincarnation mana cost is definitely an option to skip. If they don't have like an anti-mage or a diffusal blade hero. I've skipped it some games, not that weird. And then at 25, Vampora lifesteal for your little skellies, so that they can lifesteal 50%, 55%. I don't know. I think I've done a Skeleton Wraith King build. I don't know if it was good. I went like Helm of the Dominator or Shadow Blade or something like that. They're mostly for like farming ancients and pushing and shit. Not sure if it's good. Alright, and Zeus, last one. Cast range bonus of 25. The arc lightning damage is actually so good. It's actually so good. So I think the cast range buff is kind of nice. I think last time I played Zeus I got cast range. Because I didn't have an Aether Lens and I feel like it would be nice to bolt from longer range. But the arc lightning damage one's really good. 275 is huge though. Alright, I guess we're done. Farming is actually an issue on Wraith King. It is, yes. Like, it's the Cutting during team fights. He just needs a movement speed talent. He does not have he used to have a movement speed talent. They removed it. So consider this. So if I'm playing Wraith King, yes, kiting is an issue, but you should think of Wraith King slightly like Sven, in my opinion. I don't get this shit out of my inventory. You should think of him slightly like Sven. Your hero is like this. You'll buy a treads. I have to level up a few more times because I skilled garbage skills. So assume this is similar. Actually, you know what I should do? I think last time I played him I did it the wrong way. You should go like Soul Ring and maybe a magic stick. And then you buy a fucking armlet and you kill people. Something like this. So this is like your early game items more or less. Maybe skip the magic stick, depends on like how many. You walk in, you do this, and you turn on armlet, and you just slap people. And then all of a sudden you crit them for a shitload of damage. Like, I literally only have an armlet, and I'm critting people for 500 damage. It's because it gives you like 60 damage. 65 damage right here. Treads for attack speed, you get a soul ring for some regen, and some spell usage, basically to always keep your mana full. Problem solved. With this alone, you farm really fast, especially because you have good attack speed, and if you get a crit, you one-shot illusions. Don't buy this shit crit build. It's terrible. It's so bad. Never buy Crystallis. It is like equivalent in price to Armlet. Costs 21.20. Armlet is a mere 250 gold more. And this gives you 5 armor, 4 HP regen, 25 attack speed, 9 damage, just by itself. When you turn it on, it gives you 65 damage. It gives you 500 health. Gives you an extra 4 armor. And yes, you drain HP or whatever. But I'm regenning 13.6 right now as a level 19 hero, so I'm a little bit more leveled than I should be. So I'm only losing like 30 HP per second. So it takes like 15 seconds for Armlet to be a negligible, or to be an overall negative for my hero's HP by it being on alone. Not including the fact that it gives me an extra 4 armor. It's a 65 damage item. This is 30. It doesn't increase my attack speed. It doesn't make me stronger. I still die to physical damage. I'm still weak to minus armor. It's bad. Don't do it. But with Armlet alone, I deal a lot of damage, right? And then all you have to do is pair this up with a blink. Or you can go blink first. If you feel like you need action early, just do this. Go like Tread's blink. And then I'm just going to jump in and stun people, and you have 2 seconds to kill people. And obviously with just blink, it's not that great. But that's why you pair that shit up with items that actually murder people. And then you just have vision on opponents. Oh, don't tell me it bugged. Dang it. Then you just make sure you have vision of people, and you just jump in and murder supports. And you have about 2 seconds to do so, or you have to follow up, or your team has to follow up. So let's say we're like level 10 or something. This is basically your skill build. Oops. You'll have 1 ultimate, obviously. And here, I feel like if it was between getting a 4th Mortal Strike and 20 attack speed, I would get 20 attack speed. For the reasons being that it increases my chance of killing somebody during burst. Not that the Wraithfire DPS is not bad, because that's 80 damage. But that's not worth, compared to attack speed, that gives you the chance to kill a hero. Again, this is basically what I want to do. Just murder people. Buy a really inexpensive item that helps me murder people. Let's take this, like, axe, and let's say he has standard items of absolute shit. Oops. And, I don't know. I see him. Like, okay, I'm highly leveled, but he's, like, slightly behind me, and I crit him 1 time, and this guy's fucking dead instantly. Obviously, I have, like, 4,000 more gold than he does, so this is maybe not the best example. But if this guy did have items, what he would have is, like, a blink dagger, and maybe, like, he'd be working on his blade mill or something. So yeah, maybe he does a little bit better. Let's level him up like a few more times or something. So I didn't get a crit there, but I just did half of this guy's HP, and this is like a reasonable amount of farm for him to have. He'd still be behind me, but like, this is what you're doing as a Wraith King. You jump in and you try to kill people. And if you kill this guy successfully, then you're good. If you jumped in, there was 5, and you didn't kill him, you're obviously going to fail. But that's why you have your ultimate. Your ultimate goes off, your teams back you up. Like, Wraith King is like a burst gank hero, kind of, while who's also able to, like, team fighting and re-engage. That's kind of how Wraith King works. You just have to play him correctly, and then everything's going to be fine. Like, still hard to kill and all, but, you know, and then you just transition. You can go, like, Radiance. You can go, like, AC or something like that. That way you have better armor and more attack speed. Then you have more attacks when they are stunned to get a crit. Like, it all adds up, you know. AC, and then you can go, like, Basher. You can go Deso. There's a lot of options. Anyways, Radiance on Wraith King is actually super legit, and I would say one of 2 builds. You either get Armlet, or you go Radiance. And sometimes you go Armlet and Radiance. 100%. Sometimes you'll even skip Blink, and you'll do something like this, where you go Radiance. That way you just show up to fights, and you stun people, and you just deal a shitload of damage just by being there. And it doesn't really matter if, you die, because obviously you respawn. So Radiant's super normal in this game. I would say it's not the most common, but it's definitely like 25-30% of the time it's built. Alright, I guess that's going to be about it. Solar Crest Radiance is really good. Don't know if I'm super into that. I mean, if you get the health perk at the strength perk at 15, it's probably fine, but Solar Crest is kind of expensive. I'd honestly just prefer you at Armlet. 100% honestly. I'm sure it does way more damage. Let's compare. It's maybe not the best example, but we can compare the two. I mean, Solar Crest is literally more expensive, right? 26, 25 than Armlet. I guarantee the... Oops. Actually, let's just get a dummy target. It's the easiest way to do it. And now we wait. Armlet Mask of Manus. You should not get Mask of Manus on this hero because he has a little bit of armor problems. His agility gain is not great enough. So if you get Mask of Manus, yes, you attack faster, but you won't be able to cast spells, and your armor is going to be so lowered that any physical damage will wreck you. That's one of the benefits of Armlet. It gives you more HP so that your ultimate goes farther, and you have like 9 armor here when it's on, so you just kind of stay alive. So our DPS is about 270, right? Let's say, maybe, again, maybe not the best example if I just buy Solar Crest like this, but it was 270. I'm just going to press it whenever it's up. You know, IS is actually doing a lot more damage than I thought it would. But it's kind of dropping down. Maybe I got too lucky on crits. See the damage difference? It's actually huge. And this is a hero this is a unit that has 0 armor. So if somebody has more armor, this is less effective. Like this axe will take way less damage than... I'm missing some Solar Crest usages, but like Solar Crest, yes, it gives you armor, and yes, it can give you some damage, but again, it's single target. It doesn't increase your attack speed. Once you use it on your opponent, you are not survivable at all. So even if I'm increasing the damage that I deal this guy, even if the damage was close to Armlet, which it's not even vaguely close, it's also giving me no benefit at all. Oh, I forgot about the accuracy. The accuracy part is kind of cool, I guess, but it removes the armor and the evasion. So literally when I use this actively, all it gives me is 1 mana regen. It's just not a good item. Like, I could see, if you want to go like Radiance and you're like, hey, I need some armor, I would honestly just buy Medallion and leave it there. Like, just stop at Medallion. Because this gives you 7 armor reduction. And this is minus 10, which is like barely better. So, I don't know. I would just go like Medallion. Or worst case, you just have a chainmail or something. I don't know. Armlet is so good on Wraith King, it's really hard to pass it up. The only time I think you should is against like A's and stuff like that. And obviously against like Spirit Vessel, it's kind of scary. You want to see a skeleton focus build? I would do like... You'd basically, if you want to do it for killing heroes, you'd have to do something like Shadowblade, I feel like. Or Blink Helm. But Helm is pretty shit on this hero. Because you already have lots of lifesteal, so you don't need any regen. Pretty much. So Helm is pretty much bad, but I mean, I guess if you could use the creep to chain stun, it'd be cool. 20 attack speed to skeletons. It's just like probably not that worth doing, I guess. That's maybe how I describe it. I remember theory crafting Helm of the Dominator for supports, and nobody has ever done that ever. I was very wrong. Used to get better stats though, so maybe that was why. Alright guys, that's gonna be it. I'm gonna get out of here. Crit build is shit. Don't ever say that again. Ever. It's terrible. I'll show you how bad the damage is. Watch. Here's that crit. Ah, shit, I leveled up again. Imprecise science. Alright, let's check our DPS, guys. Last we checked, Armlet did 270. I don't remember what Puppy built. Did you go Helm Maelstrom? So, damage-wise alone, Crystallis is way less than Armlet. Way less. 225. 220-ish. Move this here. And again, a lot of the downside of this item is you're losing health, but if you have lifesteal, that's offset. And this guy has a lot of lack of armor, so that's part of the reason I'm lifestealing more, because I'm doing more damage. But damage-wise, it's like not even close. And it gives me 500 health. And it gives me 25 attack speed. And it gives me a bunch of regen and armor. If you have Crystallis, you die so easy. Like, look at the stat differences. 6 plus 9, that's like a respectable amount. Now look at it. 6. A whole 6. It's like atrocious. 36 physical resistance. 24. It's like 50% more survivability, basically. Oh, way more. 43 versus... It's like almost double. So all this 2,000 health I basically have twice as much against physical damage by having Armlet versus Crystallis. Which means with Reincarnation, I basically have 4 times the health of a regular hero with Reincarnation and Armlet. It's like, it's literally the Wraith King item. It's the Wraith King item. If you don't buy Armlet on this hero, you're crazy. Unless you're playing support or something. Or you're going like Radiance fast. Hold Alt to see the armor percentage without hovering. Oh, that's cool. I did not know they added that. That is a cool change. Oh, that's right, buyback. I forgot about this one. Anything else? Experience. Oh, hell yeah, I'll play Dota. Alright, JK, we're doing a stream, guys. The crit you're gonna say is like, oh, it builds up skeletons faster. I don't give a shit. And oh, it one-shots neutral creeps. You could just kill them with armlet. Play tree? I actually do want to play tree, you're right. Alright, let's make a list. I haven't made a list of heroes I want to play in a bit, but I'm gonna say tree. Alright, AA. Most of this is kind of relevant. Crystal Maiden's a little better. Doom, a little change. Dragonite. I feel like this was maybe one of the bigger nerfs, honestly. This one right here. This attack speed at 10. I really thought we were going to see a bigger Razor nerf. Really did. Dragonite was like the biggest nerf. Perhaps. I guess his laning is still really good, but making him not a viable carry with just like a level 10 perk. He's going to farm so much slower and stuff like that. Will be a big difference. Jeez, okay. See what else. Chachi's Ember Spirit. Did he write that? Yeah, he did. He actually plays Ember damage build because he's crazy. He wants to Wraith King. Gyro barely got touch. Small nerf. I guess this is big again. The flat cannon projectiles is really big. This is like the biggest nerf to the hero in my opinion. Maybe the 6-second. Probably flak. Probably flak visual followed by the 6-second thing. The homing bounty is very inconsequential, I feel. Can't wait to see the layer like change though. Why don't we queue? Let's, you guys have searching to servers. Oh yeah, the invoker thing. It's very easy to read a patch and then forget. Lion treads, man. Lion treads, I'm adding that. I add it to the list. Lion with treads. Realistically, Lich with treads would also be really good. I played Lich the other day, I went Tranquils, and I got Frostblast cooldown. We kind of owned the game really hard. But treads is so good, 120 damage, man. And the ability to heal yourself to full. 120 damage is so much. That's actually so much, man. But by the time you're that point in the game, like... maybe there need to be, like, more late game drum purchases or something like that. I don't know. But supports never really have the time to stand and attack heroes, is what it feels like. Because you have to worry about getting killed by carries and stuff. Mirana's still shit. Kind of. Magnus is like no different. Yeah, Luna nukes. Maybe Monkey King support. Morphling is OP. I don't even need to play it. I'll just watch a pro player do it a few times and I will feel personal enjoyment from watching them do it. I don't feel the need to go practice it. I played Morphling a lot right when he got changed last time. So I feel cool with that. Prophet. Prophet was actually picked enough times. I'm slightly surprised he got this many. I guess these aren't that many buffs, but What's this hero's movement speed? 290. So I'd put him up to 330 plus boots, so he'd actually be really fast with phase and stuff. But obviously, jungler at the 1 minute mark. I don't know. A lot of nerfs. I kind of am I wrong here? I'd play Visage too. Let's add that. Visage. I'm doing all supports. Razor's like so not different. Like that's what's so silly about this. Like Razor on the laning stage is still gonna be fucking obnoxious to play against. I should swear less, but like the only difference is that in the long run you're gonna run out of mana faster because he has kind of a crappy int gain. But I don't know. You know what I didn't think about? Is that if you get the 15 agility perk at 10, that's an increase of 0.9 movement speed. Almost 1%. And then if you get the perk at 15, that's 4%. So the 10 perk not only gives you 15 agility, but it also gives you almost a fourth of the movement speed of the 15 perk. I always forget about stuff like that. Just gotta remember, 10 agility is 0.6 movement speed. Could I explain the buff of PA? So when, for heroes like PA and Visage who have a extra attack come out, for PA it's throwing a dagger. Shit. Okay, I was curious how that would work. So they get a multi-shot something, hits somebody extra. Blur evasion is like what? I'm curious what it is against Monkey King Bar. Times 0.75. It is, oops, that's the other way around. 6.25. So if somebody has MKB and you get that blur evasion, it's 6.25 evasion. Curious. Okay. So basically before, the dagger range is this, right? Let's get like an observer word. So in the past, the way that it worked was, if I want to dagger this courier, aka the dummy target, before I wouldn't be able to dagger the axe because he was out of range, because here's the range. So if you have a multi-shot stifling dagger, it has to be a visible enemy. So like if all these creeps die or whatever, launch daggers all day. So before it wouldn't hit the axe because he's out of range, but now the extra one can be up to 300 units farther, which is a nice change, because if, let's say I wanted to shoot the axe, but I wanted to hit both, I would have to cast on the axe instead to know that both were in range. But now 300 range is pretty big. I mean, it's like, this is 250. So it's certainly a little bit of a difference. But yeah, now you can do shit like be far enough away that you still catch both. It's just a nice change. It basically makes those perks far more valuable. I have a feeling that they maybe asked pro players why they never